Yeah, we got kilobits flowing, so we're live.
We got kilobits. See, you were worried. He was worried we were late.
We are late. We're a minute late. We might be 2 minutes late.
Well, you know.
We are. See, we're 2 minutes late.
Well, what time did you get up here to the garage?
I got up here at a half hour ago. I was trying to make all this work, but it had been moved and everything. So
the entire system crashed, and we had to reinstall Windows. And this is the first time we've streamed.
I was thinking
you should have given us more time.
I was thinking we had it,
everything ready.
But I didn't know what I was doing. You weren't here, so we just did it.
Right. We made it.
Let's see here. Patrick Sullivan, refresh guy. Okay, so we've got a whole thing here. We got people here, been here for a while.
All right.
So
Mexican Spec got the first 10 p.m. time stamped thing.
Oh, so did two other people.
And he was here really early. Buddy and Lester Saber were here. Did they get any 10 p.m.?
Patrick Sullivan did. Buddy Carfano did. Dougster did. That's got to be a first. Dougster's here right exactly time. I don't remember him ever being right on the button on time.
First of all, everybody who's here right now gets a point. If you can hear the sound of my voice, you get a point.
Because we're late. And then I'll say hi with Studebaker too. See, the Studebaker's up there. It says hi too.
The Studebaker says hello. Mexican Spec, you get an additional point for making the first comment at 10. Patrick Sullivan, I will also give you an additional point for being here at 10. Also, Buddy, Dougster, you get extra additional point. KJ Kiley, welcome to the stream. Daryl B, welcome to the stream. Shopcat Industries, welcome to the stream.
I know it's missing over here.
Gearhead 6971, welcome to the stream. Crash Roadrunner Garage is here, welcome to the stream. Tim is here as well, welcome to the stream. What's missing?
There's another panel I look at while we're streaming that shows how many people are in and all that.
Yes. We turned that dock off, remember, because it was in the way?
Oh,
no, that's not the one.
It's just missing.
It's here. It's a dock.
Oh, I didn't know.
And if we turn it to YouTube Live Control Panel, we turn that on.
Oh, that's the thing that belongs over there in that empty space. Yeah, now we're talking. See, I was telling you there was an empty space there, and I didn't know it went there. Oh, why don't you put it? Oh, okay, gonna put it over there now.
Well, okay. So the problem here is I just don't want to smallerify all these other things.
Yeah, I see what I'm looking at.
It doesn't like.
See, that was always over there, and there's a place for it over there, but.
Yeah, but it's too.
And then all this was down here, and now it's all like in a different spot. I don't know. I guess I'm just whining.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's closer. That was never there before.
Why is it doing this?
I don't know, because it crashed. Now everything's where somebody else wanted it, like the computer wanted this stuff.
Anyways, I blew up Windows, and you know what? It's just the way it's going.
That'll work down there. It's just, it's a little weird, but.
Max Wedge Dick Dastardly is here. Welcome to the stream.
It belongs here.
This one-eyed cat is here as well. Olive is here. Well, it belongs here. There's a heck of a bunch of people popping in here right away. There must be nothing else going on tonight.
And then if you scroll up. Can I do that? I can do that, can't I?
I think you know how to use a mouse.
Well, yeah, but usually your mouse, it's usually your mouse, and now I have control over this too. I forgot I had that. Somebody over here. I remember. Retired Inspector Bruce says he'll be here tonight.
Oh, Space Cat 72 is here.
Space Cat 70. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people that are here really early that we didn't. Okay, you want to say hi? I don't know if you did say hi to everybody or not. I don't know.
I think
we were like really.
If we missed you.
We really
call it out. Say, hey, you didn't say hello to me, and then I will be shamed for having missed people, but then I will say hello. Rabbit Transit Garage is here. Did I say hello to what? See, now I can't even remember anymore. Cope Racing Transmissions is here. Says poop emoji. Poop emoji.
What's
Welcome
that for?
To the stream, John.
What's that for? What are you telling us?
Potato, 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 Dougster says. Or maybe he just says potato once.
Just says potato once.
Whew. Yeah, why not hit that like button?
Coperino and
Hit,
Dougie.
hit the like button. I
What?
think it's down here.
Oh, you're pointing.
Just click it. Just click it. Do it. Do it. All your friends are doing it.
And Grampito is here. Gearhead 6971 and Grandma Vic. All the Vics. Good evening to all the Vics.
What are we going to talk about tonight?
I don't know. I don't know what you're
Oh my
doing.
gosh, we streamed for 6 hours on New Year's Eve.
It was a long one. Yeah, well, that was
man.
a marathon. Nearly.
That was crazy.
So now we're in the shop. We're trying to warm it up. What's the temperature in here? Oh, it's like 51 degrees.
It's cold.
It's a little cool in here. You want to hold down the fort for a minute? I'm going to go over there and see what's going on with the fire. Because you had the fire going. So it was going, but it wasn't a rip-roaring fire. It was just kind of a mellow little fire.
Well, it was supposed to be a simmering fire that kept going.
Yeah.
I kept the fire going all night and all day because it was like in the 20s last night. And so I come over here at 7 in the morning and put some more logs on the fire. And then I come over here early in the afternoon, put some more logs on the fire. And then I came over here around dinner time, put more logs on the fire. So you guys seem to be in for some serious winter this weekend. Yeah, Tennessee is pretty mild, but we're gonna see the winter here. So I think a lot of yous are gonna see some winters, or maybe you already have. A lot of you are already. That's Wrigley Field. Yeah, that's what it says on my sweatshirt. I wear this sweatshirt like most nights out here because it's a pretty thick one and it stinks. It stinks like metal, ground up metal. You know that burned metal smell that you get when you're using the flapper disc. So I just keep wearing it so I don't have to keep washing clothes that I'm just gonna get dirty again. I take it off as soon as I get to the house and then put on something that's clean. So are we. It will get down to like 50 degrees. Okay, Mexican spec. You don't have to rub it in. It's 50 right now. Though, you know what, though? In places where they don't normally get that cold, it feels really cold because the heating systems are not going to. Max West says, I'm heading to the garage to finish building a trailer ram. Okay, good luck with that trailer. Let us know how it goes. You might even video it. Ferris discs. There you go. Yeah, grind them. I don't remember what I was grinding most recently. What did I grind? What did I grind last? Was it a manifold? I don't even remember anymore.
You were doing ship linkage and you were doing manifold.
I am sitting here with a blanket on, Kim. It is not a joke. Well, no. Mexican spec, it would not be a joke. The address of Wrigley Field is 1060 West Addison, made famous by the Blues Brothers. All right. I will award you a point for telling us that, Dougster. Patrick Sullivan says 50 degrees, that's t-shirt weather.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but it's 50 degrees in the shop. It's
up in Pittsburgh, that is. I remember one year I went to Disney in the winter. It was 60 degrees in Florida, and we were in the swimming pool because it was so nice there, because it was like January, and we were like, we just came from Pittsburgh, and that seemed warm enough to go swimming. Although I think it was a heated swimming pool. Grand Pito Vic says it's 32 here right now in North Carolina. Yeah, I think it's in the upper 20s here.
It's 25.
But it's 50 in the garage because I kept it going. I kept the fireplace going all day.
Okay, I put a lot more in there. Got it going.
Comiskey Park, disco pants and haircuts. Pier 1 imports. I don't know what all these people are throwing so much stuff out here.
Grand Peter
Oh,
Vic.
Shop Cat Industry says it's negative 11 degrees
You're in
Fahrenheit.
Fayetteville? You're in Fayetteville? Wow. I kind of know that city a little bit because isn't that where oh, they changed the name of the base? I can't even remember. There's a army installation there.
Oh, Max Wedge said he hauled a car for a guy and he didn't put the pin back in the ramp hold down and it is gone.
The ramp left.
Yikes.
Oh, it's not that cold here tonight. It's 35 here. 35 Fahrenheit.
It was 24 this morning when I came out here.
Yeah, last night was supposed to be 10 degrees colder, but now it's supposed to cool off again. This is the warmest night. If 35 is warm.
Dougster says, more points. I'll have the DeLorean in no time.
Yeah, Fort Liberty now. Yeah, I remember the names of all these traditional names, and they've changed them all. And so now I'm lost. I call everything the wrong name. It's kind of sad they did that at Fort Liberty.
Mexican Spec agrees that he hates when other people touch my stuff and mess it up. I'm always the one messing stuff up. So it's either my stuff or other people's stuff. I'm hard on the tools. I have been told a lot.
She leaves tools everywhere.
Not everywhere, but a lot.
Not everywhere.
Hey, in my
Almost
defense, when I moved here, you said you help with the videos and you work on the vehicles and I'll keep things cleaned up.
But I had no
Sometimes when you're-
idea how you would leave tools.
How much work I would get done. You had no idea how much
do
work I do.
But you'll do crazy stuff like it would be under there and I can't find a ratchet. I go in there like 4 or 5 ratchets under the same project. You know, it's like it's a new one each time she needs a ratchet.
You're not keeping up. You gotta keep up.
What happened to my wastebasket?
I'm checking your work.
My wastebasket disappeared.
It didn't disappear.
Well, it's not here.
It's over here. You didn't bring it over.
Nice new stone. Says, yeah, same here. Well, welcome to the chat.
I had to use the other one to put all the.
My father was stationed there.
Here you go.
My son was stationed. Ah, thank you for my wastebasket.
For your waste.
Now I don't have to put trash on the table. Yeah, my son was there for a while, and he still goes back there sometimes. But oh, I just got it set up. Did you open that? Did you open the? She doesn't like the way I do the fire.
I'm cold.
Well, give it. It's all set up to get hot, you know, because I put a lot of wood in there. So give it a couple minutes. I just walked over there and did it. I don't know what she's doing. Let's see, JB, I'll put different size socket on multiple ratchets when working. Saves me from having to change sockets all the time. Yeah, maybe that's what she's doing. Bruce Colton says minus 21 in Alberta. Is that Celsius? Or is that Fahrenheit? They're both pretty darn cold. Actually, they're kind of converging at that point.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna hit something here. Some noise for a moment.
She is rearranging my fire. Oh, you know what she's doing? She's splitting wood. Where's your other camera?
What do you mean the other hand?
Well, we want to watch you split the wood.
Oh, my other camera.
Yeah,
You said my other camera.
No, Bruce says that's C. So 21C. Hey, boat anchor. You know, I watched your live when you fixed that radio that I bought. Hey, and I did buy the radio, and he's pretty cool because he boxed it up right away. I paid him with PayPal. He boxed it up right away, shipped it, and gave me a tracking number already. I think he did all that last night and today. Pretty good. Fixed it on New Year's Day. Sent it today. Good deal, man. I am really looking forward to that. Let's see here. Oh, you piece of
Now I
crap.
gotta find some flowers.
Stupid spell check just ruined what I was doing.
Where's their spell check? You're not supposed to be on your phone.
Well, I'm trying to figure out something. Okay, so minus 21C is about minus 8 Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's pretty cold. That's not fun. How long have you had that Studebaker nose? Well, I have the whole Studebaker. It's just all pulled apart right now. So I've had that since I dragged that up here from Arizona. So, and then you can see, like if we get a super chat, I do that now. So I wired it up with some things to like if there's some kind of excitement, I'll light up the Studebaker nose. And when the Studebaker goes together, I have to put a new nose up there out of something else. Whatever something else we have around at the time. That Studebaker's actually, the body's in pretty good shape, and it has a 6-cylinder in it. It was never meant to run after I got it. And Kim got it running, blew out of all the mouse nests out of it. It was pulled out of the garage, and she got it running, which I didn't think it would ever run. And the whole exhaust pipe was full of mouse nests, and it blew them all into the shop. It was pretty funny. Something is on my glasses. What is it? I smeared my glasses all up. Oh, man. Shopcat says, oh, well, cheers from up here. Bruce Culture and I made it as far south as Lethbridge with the little fella over the summer. We visited Kirkham International Truck Collection. Lethbridge, isn't there one of those places along there? Isn't there where's the place that has the World War II bomber out front? Is it still out there? It's I'm trying to remember. It was not an American airplane. It's a 4-engine World War II bomber sitting out front. And I've stopped and looked at that thing before. I just can't think of the name of it.
And it's cold. I don't know how you could sit. You gotta move around a little bit.
Grand Pick says, Grand Pedo Vic. I'll get it yet. Says -8. I'm not going outside. Yeah, well, the last 2 years here in Tennessee, it got down to -3, which is just ridiculous for here.
Ridiculous for anywhere.
Let's see here. Well, when I lived in South Dakota, that was sort of a normal day. I remember walking to school one morning in South Dakota. It was 32 below. Yeah, that's it. The Shopcat says it was a Lancaster, and it's quite close to Lethbridge. Yeah, I've been going down that highway and seen that. I had to stop, Raining Slant 6. I'm not hitting all the chat. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go, but
there's a whole bunch of people here.
Yeah, there is. We got 34 people in here.
Oh, wow.
Raining Slant 6 says, hey, Buff and Kim, what's your New Year's resolution? Bruce says, nothing. Hippie Long, Castle Air Force Base. But Tulare AP had a B-17 in front. Yeah, Castle, I think, what was Castle's now got don't they have a museum now? With a lot of airplanes? In fact, I think a couple of those airplanes came from, or at least one of them came from Chanute Air Force Base where I was. And they moved them out there somehow. Dougster says, I want to read something up further. Oh, Olive said Spitfire has a cute nose. If you won't be using it, that would work too, because it's made out of Bondo. There's some metal under it somewhere. But yeah, we could lop that off and put it up there. I don't know. Well, it depends on what we have when we get the Studebaker put together. Dougster says the Kalamazoo Air Zoo is a cool airplane museum. They have a SR-71 Blackbird there. What a machine. Yeah, what a machine. Grampito Vic, -32, and I'd be crying. I have a fever. Or we just walked to school. You know what we did was, those masks on, or you take a glove over your, because when you breathe, it freezes in your nose instantly. So keep a glove over your face, and then you can breathe. But I walked to school in that. You know, as a kid, it's fun. As an adult, I'm sure my father didn't have any fun shoveling the car out of the driveway and breaking the ice and all. As an adult, that's not fun. As a kid, you just roll with it. Doesn't matter.
I didn't like it as a kid either.
Yeah, Avro Lancaster, Mike N says that. Hit that like button. Yeah, who said that? Hit the like button. Oh, Rampito Vic. All says I don't make resolutions. They're too much like plans. Boat anchor. We have a B-17 in Tulare County, or in Tulare, California, that was used in Operation Crossroads nuclear test. Wow. Yeah, you're in. I just looked it up on the map because I wanted to see where you were. You're real close to a place called Porterville. There used to be an air show there every year I used to go to. So now I know exactly. I know about where you are. I know what town you're in. Too long. But yeah, Fresno there. Let's see what else. 38 Racing's here. How you doing? I would have been here earlier, but I had to watch the weather. Calling for ice snowstorms Saturday evening into Sunday. Teens in 20s with winds 20 to 30 miles an hour. Oh yeah, that'll feel like 50 below. That will not be fun. Nebraska weather. South Dakota was summer, but I think you get worse winds in Nebraska, but I may be wrong. Well, I remember big winds in South Dakota too. I remember there's a fence between our house and the neighbor, and that fence was buried in snow because it made a giant snowdrift. I remember it real well now. Yeah, we had.
I didn't really do an introduction. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. This is Buff Del Campo. Welcome. This is a shop stream, so we don't do video. We don't do
pictures.
We don't do pictures. On Tuesday nights, we do the green screen. Tonight, we're working on the 66 Dodge Dart, I think. Unless there's something else you want to work on?
Kim, you know what else I couldn't find tonight when I came up here?
No, what's that?
I was scrambling when I came up here, and I thought I had plenty of time, and I couldn't. I can't find there's a thing I plug into this power strip that turns on all these, what do you call them, like the studio lights?
They're not hooked up.
Oh, they're not hooked up. Okay.
No, I disconnected them, and I cleaned up a lot, and it doesn't all put back because we haven't started streaming yet.
Okay, I don't know. I just came up here, I went to plug it in, and it wasn't there.
I know. Well, you can't just plug it in because it all got disconnected.
Okay.
And then the computer crashed. I had to reinstall Windows, and it was a big hassle.
The computer crash was a bad deal.
Yeah, it kind of stunk.
I thought we got on here once since the crash.
No.
Maybe not.
No.
I guess we were just up here trying to straighten out the crash.
Yeah. And we did New Year's.
Has anybody seen, because the chat went by kind of quickly and I didn't see everybody. Has anybody seen Tavo? Oh, Tavo's probably at work if he can work. Tavo, if any of you weren't here on New Year's Eve, it was already New Year's Day in Australia. And Tavo's he lives out in the middle of a little tiny town out in the middle of nowhere. It's just sort of a settlement. And so there's not much out there. And he works in his shop by himself, and he managed to cut his hand wide open with a grinder.
Good.
And he couldn't move his thumb anymore. And he put a shop rag and some tape around his hand that was able to keep it from bleeding too badly. And he drove himself to the hospital. It's like, 15 miles away or 25 miles away or something. So then he came back on the stream in the hospital. And he said, well, the nurse had cleaned it, but it was New Year's Day, so there's no doctors. So the doctor got there and made him get off the stream. He wanted his undivided attention, didn't want him streaming or on the stream while he's in the hospital. So he put a stitch inside to put something back together inside his hand. It's one of those stitches that goes away, and stitched up the outside of his hand. And he drove home. And when he got home, he got back on the chat again. So, man, he had a night. Let's see who else I see pop in here. E-Bear, only 2 Lancasters flying in the world. One is just down the road from me in Hamilton, Ontario, at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum. To see her fly is remarkable. Yeah, it's quite an airplane. Oh, something just disappeared. Oh, eBear, you retracted that right while I was reading it. Okay. I don't know why you retracted it. It's pretty interesting. Um, yeah, an eBear. Say, I haven't seen you here before. It's good to have you in the chat.
Welcome to the stream.
JG Mopar is here. Hey, JG Mopar, you know what? I bought I bought that CB radio from what's his name? Boat. Yeah, I can't think of his name right now. He came in here with a different name the other night. It was yeah, it was Steve. So I ended up buying it from him, and he put new capacitors in it, and did a video doing that, and then shipped it today and sent me a tracking number already. So that's really cool. Roku at Canton? Question mark? Canton. Uh, let's see here. Hippie Long says Florida had a Ford. Oh, it's probably a tri-motor. Come by the year selling rides. He had to work, or she Hippie Long had to work. What's a cooler aircraft? Concorde or SR-71? Concorde is pretty. Concorde's amazing because they hauled all those people for years at Mach 2. That's amazing. And then the SR is pretty amazing too because that was think about when they developed that. It was a Mach 3 airplane, 3 plus. Yeah, SR. And you look at the instrument panel, an SR or a Concorde, they're all old ground gauges, mechanical stuff. It's amazing. Yeah, Hippie Long, Ford Tri-Motor. I hate spell check. Yeah, an AI. I was just trying to look up a temperature, the centigrade to uh, Fahrenheit conversion, and it kept correcting what I was putting in, and I was putting in what I wanted, and it kept changing it to something else. David Vizard's first hot rod, buff. David Vizard's first hot rod. What's his first hot rod? Oh, the Concorde. Did he work on the Concorde? Raining Slant 6070s right-hand drive Mopar cars parts because I'm looking for the right-hand drive Slant 6 oil pump and lines. Oh, you know who you talk to is Dean Stevenson or yeah, Tavo. Tavo's probably at work, he'll probably pop in here at his lunch break or something, or he may. I don't know. Man, it's probably past his lunch break. Oh, AJ Kylie Kim, do you want me to send you a Steeler hoodie?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Dean Stevenson, the Concorde. You bet he did. Oh, okay. So I didn't know he worked on the Concorde. The Russians sort of worked on the Concorde too. They had KGB agents tour the factory with these soft rubber shoes on, and they're supposed to walk through where the sheet metal snips were, and then they take the sheet metal snips out of their shoes and send them into the engineers when they were doing the Tu-144, the Tupolev. What do they call that thing? There was a name for it, but the Americans and the Brits called it the Concordsky.
Concordsky.
Tavo is most likely on pain medication.
I'll bet.
Right at the moment.
I'll bet.
Yeah, he's probably hurt. Yeah, when he came back, he was home. He says, the painkiller's starting to wear off. Ugh. Tim says, if you ever get near Dayton, Ohio, it's worth the visit to the Air Force Museum. Yeah, I've never been there. So many times I was going to go there and just didn't. I lived in the other corner of Ohio. Hippie Long, Foxbat. Well, the Foxbat was the MiG-25, which was an interceptor. The Concordsky was the Tupolev Tu-144. Tu-144. Because they pronounce the TU as two. But if you say that in English, it sounds like you're saying 2144, but you're not. You're saying Tupolev, Tu-144. It was a big supersonic airliner, but it was pretty much a failure. I mean, it flew, but they had what 82 revenue flights total with all those airplanes. That's it just didn't work out well for them. Although the Concorde flew for many years, and no accidents up till the end when they picked up a chunk of metal. Well, that's a whole. Uh, there was a whole. There's some good YouTube videos on that incident. Dougster says, I believe the 1940s German government wing design was the inspiration for the SR. They were just drawings for the Germans. Yeah, I don't know. I think Kelly Johnson pretty much worked that all out. Their Buran was a copy of the shuttle. It kind of looked like a copy. Yeah, there's a real good book written on the development of the Tu-144. I read that book. That's one of those books I couldn't put down. Yeah, it was really loud inside. It was really loud in there. It'd be long. That's Russian for we stole American plane ski. Well, although the Concorde was not American, it was kind of British and French conglomeration thing, I think. I don't know. The Buran rocket technology took us to the moon. I don't think so. I think that was afterwards. We got to hold all that stuff. I think that stuff is stuff that Mr. Musk was using. Retired Inspector Bruce. I think the Air Force Museum is better than the Smithsonian. I got to go there. Yeah, and Bruce, you worked on some of those cool airplanes in the Air Force, and then Bruce worked on airliners for many years as an inspector. I guess from your name there, you are retired now. Yeah, you're my age, so you're probably done with that. AJ Kiley, Fulcrum, Flogger. Yeah, the Fulcrum was the NATO name for the MiG-29, and the Flogger. And I'm supposed to know that. I can't. Well, because I'm supposed to know all the the NATO names. The Flogger was another MiG. Hippie Long Valkyrie. Valkyrie. The Valkyrie was the what was that thing? That was that big old. Can't think of what it is. B. Big. They only built two of them. It was a big bomber that was supersonic stainless steel bomber that the U.S. built, and they managed to crash one of them. And then the other one is at the Air Force Museum. Yeah, Tim says plan on. It's very well organized. They have most everything. Yeah, I want I go there. I know it'll be a 2-day thing. I won't be able to go through that one day. Dougster says the rocket uses its cold fuel to cool itself before probably ingesting it, much like a dry Block V8 engine. This chat's going fast. I'm going to lose it. It's going to scroll by. Gigi Mopar, I get to see lots of neat stuff fly around out my area near Point Magoo Naval Air Base. Yeah, I bet you do. Yep, it's yeah. Oh yeah, the Flogger was a MiG-23. Yeah, there's a killer airplane. That is a fast airplane. Crazy, faster than you're allowed to fly it because it'll pull apart. Gearhead retracted something. I don't know what that was. USA made Valkyrie. So the idea came from before. Yeah, Valkyrie was the yeah. I can't remember the B number for the Valkyrie. Camarillo, California has commemorative Air Force. Lots of World War II stuff. Yeah, it's J.G. Mopar. He's leaving here. We're saying goodnight to Grampito Vic. Yeah, it's late night. Yeah, we're the cleanup crew. We come in here pretty late. Yeah, XB70. You got it. XB70. I couldn't think of what that was. Yeah, Bruce. Guns and Gears. Buff. Does she know what she's doing? Who? Kim? Kim is an outstanding tech mechanic.
Repairist.
Repairist. More than you would ever believe.
I think they would believe.
I would. Yeah, but some people like, who left that comment? Go back to the kitchen? What the hell? You know?
Maybe it will be.
Kim knows how to, but not like she knows her way around a shop. She has a gas grill. She puts some good stuff on the gas grill, but you know, it's not like telling a woman to go back to the kitchen. I mean, that kind of sucks. Let's see here, raining slant picks. See, I was looking to see what it would cost the U.S. in dollars to buy those right-hand drive slant 6 oil lines, canister, all that stuff. Shipped to Carmel, New York. 10512. Okay, so we know about where you are. Yeah, check it out, I guess, hopefully. Kim, can you show us how you're attracting to the slant?
Yes, I would do that.
Yeah, we've got.
Yeah, I'll stop what I'm doing and I will.
You know, where's it? How hard is it going to be to hook up that other camera? Is it just too?
That's what I'm saying. I'll just do it.
Okay. Shop Cat Industries. I'm scrolling down just because I can't keep up the chat. Kim is a Class A ranch, bar none. Dougster says that. Yep.
Thank you, Dougster.
Yeah, you remember at No Name Nationals, I had to talk her into getting out from under that stupid car because she was going to spend the whole 3 days under the car, miss the whole show.
I might have fixed it if I'd tried.
We would have lift the engine up. Okay. Shop Cat Industries XB70 Valkyrie and the accompanying XF108 Rapier. Yeah, you know, the other thing, they did a typical stupid thing to do. They went up and did a photo shoot, ended up having a midair and killed a pilot and destroyed the airplane, all for a photo shoot. It really backfired on them, you know. We would better off just not doing that. Of course, 2020 hindsight. Good video on moving the spruce goose from California to Oregon. Is there? Boat anchor CB repair. After the stream, check your email and look at the 2 pics I sent. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, I can't do that up here. I'm up here in the shop and all my other stuff's down there. Oh, it says kitties are dumb about the sexism lately. You know, it's only a few. Like somebody else, you do a lot of videos, you get a lot of comments, which I really am glad I get because that drives the videos. But in the comments, you get some idiots. And we've had a few lately.
I mean, we're not.
Yeah. Mexican Spec says she has to start in the kitchen to go back to the kitchen.
I've been in the kitchen.
She's been in the kitchen. You know what? She cooks some good stuff too, but you know, it's not like that's the only place she belongs.
That's just some messed up stuff to be saying to anybody.
Yeah. Dean Stevenson, you can get them via South Africa too. Slant 6. Normally, Talo.
Maybe they just really like our cooking source.
All right-hand drive Slant 6 and LAV8 oil pumps had remote filters. Well, see, you could do that too, because remote filters. I've done remote filters on things like a V6 Pinto with power steering. You cannot get to the. You take a V6 Pinto with power steering and you take it to a place to have the oil change. I guarantee you, when you're done, you look under there and they'll leave the same oil filter in there because they can't get to it. And it's just one of those jobs that terrorizes you. So anytime I had one of those V6 Pintos, if I had the engine out, I'd put a remote filter on it. So to make it possible to change the filter. TJ Kylie, gotta love women that can set points. She does that. She'll eyeball it. Heck, get it right. Gearhead 6971. Good night, everyone. Got to get up early. Okay, well, thanks for stopping in. I know we're the nighttime, we're the cleanup crew, so we don't expect everybody to stay here all night.
Yeah.
It'd be long. It was 101 Starfighter's fault. Yeah, I got sucked into it. I don't know what happened. Yeah, took vertical off. It actually flew for a short distance without a vertical stab. Then went in. And one of the pilots didn't get out. Really sucks. Gearhead, see y'all in the next one. Yeah, good. Yeah, hopefully you'll be in the next one. I don't know where the next one will be. It'll either be here in the shop or Tuesday.
Oh, it depends on the weather a little bit.
Depends on the weather,
It's
yep.
supposed to be pretty cold.
Raining Slant 6. Thanks, Dean, for recommending Tavo and the possibility of sourcing through South Africa. It's good info. Yeah, we don't have anybody stops in here from South Africa, do we? I had a lot of customers in the airplane business in South Africa, but man, one of them I've been trying to find one of them. I can't find him, and he was a rather well-known professional rugby player. So, man, his email address is the one I had is no good. So trying to get a hold of him is really difficult. Let's see. Ended up putting a remote filter on my Tornado. Kept getting knocked off. Dean Stevenson, it's more fun in right-hand drive 2.3 clone V6 Cortinas buff steering shaft. Right? Oh yeah. Well, the thing is that on the Pinto, it's right between the starter and the power steering pump, and then there's a cross member under it. So if you look up in there, you can see it, but you can't unscrew it. I suppose you can somehow, but you take it somewhere and get the oil changed, or somebody else does the oil change, they'll never change the filter. Kim is setting up a second camera. Yeah, they have the XB70. Yeah, the other XB70 is at the Air Force Museum, and that's what I've heard. You walk right under it. I was going to go there with my son like a week before he went in the Army, and instead he didn't really want to go there. He wanted to go to Washington, D.C. We went to Washington, D.C., and we went to the Smithsonian and just toured the mall and everything. Vietnam Museum, or Vietnam Wall and all that. Kim's really going after it here. Oh, there we go. She just took me away. But that's good. Now you can see what's going on over there. Hopefully we'll have, well, that's the cat. You have, yeah, you're getting that all set up the way it used to be. That's pretty cool. Duplicates, okay. There.
There you go. And scene 2 is that.
Okay, and do we have a split screen?
We do not yet.
Okay, Kim's setting up the other. Yeah, Dean says, I do, but they normally speak Afrikaans. Yeah, this guy that was my customer, that was his native language, but he spoke English. And something made a noise. Something over there made a noise.
Okay, I better go over there and look.
Let's see. Disembodied voice. Uh-oh, what's going on? We got voice. Oh, we got dual.
Dual.
Oh,
okay.
We got to shut off one mic.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, people.
Yeah, let's see. Audio mixer.
He's 38 Racing. We know what you look like. I've never pulled a slant before. Well, you're going to get to see that, I think. Yeah, you got to kill one mic.
Yeah.
I don't know which mic it is. I'm not sure they can hear us at all now.
It looks like they can hear us.
But that's through a different mic.
What do you mean?
That's this mic? Or that's that mic?
It's this mic. I think it's okay. Is it?
You think it's okay? Can everybody hear us now, or are we still like dueling voices?
Let us know if there's an issue. Here's noise over there, and now you're telling me to come back to go there.
No, I don't know. It's unclear. 38 says we're still hearing you, but one voice or two voice, or like doing voices, they're in competition with each other. Because when you have both mics on, they don't transmit at the same time, which really sucks. He says yes. Patrick Sullivan says yes, it's fine. I have a headset on. Slant, Raining Slant 6 says I like the addition of the coolant flush tee in the heater core up by the firewall. Oh yeah, why did we do? There was a reason we did that. Oh, we did that so we could when we were first starting the engine, Kim for some reason didn't want to run the heater core, so she put that in there.
No, I wanted to
What was the reason?
to loop it so that I could.
I remember that was like a command decision that night. I don't remember why.
Why did we have to loop the heater?
Oh, Mexican Spec says I meant we heard your voice while looking at the dart. Oh, okay. Okay, so you're hearing the see, we have a mic on a camera over here where I'm sitting, and then there's a camera, or there's a mic on the camera over there. And if we get them both on at the same time, man, is it terrible.
It can be. Okay, I'm going to make it so we
Burn
have a split
Blaster,
screen.
what's your relationship with Arizona? I'm in Arizona. Burn Blaster, welcome to chat. Burn Blaster, I was in Arizona for, oh, I have this on. Is this an Arizona shirt? It's upside down. I worked at Yuma Proving Ground, YPG, and I was in Yuma for, I don't know, like 13 years, something like that. And so I'm more of an Arizona person than Tennessee. The thing is, I own property in Tennessee, so when I got done in Arizona, I came back here. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
The only thing is I can't see the Studebaker, but I can move this. I can move the.
Well, if
I have to see the Studebaker, okay, I can. When you're over there, I'll move. I'll adjust that so we can see it.
Well, no, you could just do this. So you
I can do that. Yeah, I
can
do that.
if it happens.
Okay. I didn't think of that.
But for now, they wanted it. Somebody asked if they could see how we hooked up to the engine. And the easiest way to hook up to the engine.
So, yeah, Arizona. I was in Yuma for many, many years. It's probably my favorite city in the whole world is Yuma, and I'm here. Occasionally, I go there. I'll tell you how much I like Yuma. I was on my way to Oregon. I drove to Oregon, northeastern Oregon, and I drove there by way of Yuma. That seems like it's on the way. Oh, Kim, we got like max headroom going here. What's wrong?
Really?
Yeah, I was going like something wrong. Look at that. What's going on? What does that? What makes that camera do that? Maybe it'll stop.
Seems like it's angry.
KJ Kylie says, I like the torsion bar hood openers. Yeah, like Chrysler products back then were 100% torsion bars, I think. Oh, we got a camera problem here. That's my favorite camera. I don't want problems. We're trying to fix that camera. Just a second. Kim's messing with it. Shaquille, Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year.
Did it freeze? Or is it working?
It's still doing the max headroom thing.
What was it doing?
I don't know. Boat Anchor says, I was stationed at YPG 83 through 85. I was there from 07 through, well, I was in and out of there sometimes, but 07 through
Seems okay now.
2019, something like that.
If it does it anymore, let me know, okay?
We don't know. Mexican Spec is at the camera. Where in Arizona are you? Oh, asking Burn Blaster. Yeah, because Mexican Spec was near there. Mexican Spec was in Southern California a lot. In Nevada a lot, Oregon a lot. Maybe in Arizona, I don't know. Put up the elliptical Disclaimer warning. Okay, let's see. What the heck smells like it's burning? What is giving that smell?
The stove.
Oh, okay, you're gonna go look at the stove. All right.
I gotta go look at the stove.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
If you need something, let me know. Okay? Gotta check on it. It smells like it's burning.
Yeah, we have some kind of burning smell. Camera kit gives that modern, edgy feeling. Yeah, we're trying not to have that. It did it. It used to do it with the old computer a lot. Now we got a new computer, and it's been real steady, and now it did that again. So I don't know. It could be the camera. I don't know. I really don't.
Didn't do that until I plugged in the other cameras.
Oh, it didn't do that until we plugged in the other camera, so it may be something. Let's see. Rose says, Max Headroom glitches deluxe.
It's done though now, right?
It's done. It's not doing it anymore.
Okay. Well, I have stuff to do, so I can't.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Do your stuff. If I start vibrating, I'll switch the other camera. Okay. Let's see here. Burn Blaster. I'm in East Valley, border of Mesa and Tempe. And I know that area real well too. I got a lot of good friends up in that area of the world. I got a very close friend lives in Mesa. Oh, Boat Anchor says I was one of the guys that drove the ammo around KFR range. Really? I was up in I can't say that. I was at three different sites out there, but we were flight testing, and it was a great place to flight test because we had restricted airspace up to 80,000 feet. So that was really good. Burn Blasters, Tennessee better than Arizona? Well, there's better and there's, it's like everything. There's good and bad and everything. We have no.
The rent's cheap here.
The rent's cheap here. We have no state income tax, which they have in Arizona, although the state income tax in Arizona isn't real high. So that's better, I suppose. I am a warm weather desert kind of person, so I like the weather in Yuma. And a lot of people, I know people from the east would come out there and they either loved it or they did anything they could to leave because they couldn't take the 120-degree weather. I mean, a normal day out at the test site in the summer was 122 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 50 C, and most people freak out at that unless they like it.
Sorry for the banging.
Kim's over there working. She's making noise, but that's okay. Belong. Spec, do you ever import cars to Mexico? See, Stevenson, AC/DC had an album extolling the virtues of hell. See, there were people who showed up out there and had to work at YPG, and I'm sure they had arrived in hell. But for those of us that are desert rats, we were fine with it, And there were people that were out there at YPG that I worked with that grew up in Yuma. And I'm sure if they came out here, like right now, wintertime, or if they had to go to somewhere like Massachusetts in the wintertime, they'd be miserable, Or Northeast Ohio where I was, which I was pretty much miserable there. I liked the job I had, but I strongly disliked the weather.
Everyone there dislikes the weather.
And Kim, of course, is from Pittsburgh, and so it was a lot like Northeast Ohio, except they got less snow there. If you can believe there was less snow there.
I mean, that's only because it was more damp.
Let's see here. JG Mopar, I have to call it a night. Have to be up early. Take care and have a wonderful Friday. Thank you, JG Mopar.
Thanks for stopping in and hanging out.
Terry Barker. I have a 64 Valiant Wagon Pro Mod. Terry Barker, welcome to the stream. Man. Let's see here. I think I'm moving fast. Oh. Expect. No, I don't bring cars in because everybody else is doing that. I swim against the flow. Yeah, he sends cars out of Mexico to the U.S. and apparently down under now, too. Mexican Spec. Besides the I'll get it out, Netflix show, most people don't think about Mexican cars. Well, Mexican Spec's got me completely trained now to look at all the cool Mexican cars. Hell, Michigan is a cool place to scope out. Yeah, if you like salted roads. And rust. I don't know, Dougster. That's a pretty miserable place in my mind. Northeast Ohio, Northwest Ohio, Southwest Michigan. That's quite a place. 38 Racing, you're taking off too? Okay, well, good night. Take
Thanks
care.
for stopping in. We're getting this motor out of here. I'm not stopping because you guys are leaving.
Mexican Spec, or Mike N wants to know what next Netflix show that was. Oh, 38 Racing. Got to go to therapy in the morning. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Well, he's way up in the chat. He's about ready to disappear, so you may already be gone.
Oh, okay.
Plenty of water around Michigan if you get out of your depth in LA. Yeah, you know, that's one thing in Arizona. The only reason they have water is because of the Colorado River flowing by. I'm blessed. Mexican Strat. How much does it cost? Like all the fees? How much does a Cheyenne go for in U.S. dollars? You know what? I'm gonna Mexican Spec. Feel free to put up a link to your Instagram here because Burnt Blaster can go in there and look at all the cars you have there and look at prices and look at everything. Tommy Hanlon's here from Dublin, Ireland. Good evening.
Tommy, welcome to the stream.
Boat Anchor was the Mad Max car an Australian Falcon. Dougster, inside the Yellowstone National Park is a place called Coulter's Hell. He was dispatched from one fort to another, and he walked through Yellowstone in the 1840s. Thought what he'd seen was hell. Oh, that's pretty funny. Mike N said it was a Monaro. Was it a Monaro? Yeah, see, I always thought it was an Australian Falcon.
Can you see this motor coming out of here?
Oh, God, I'm not even paying attention to what Kim's doing. I'm sorry, I'm paying attention to the chat. We should be watching Kim. Yeah. Oh, and 38 Racing wanted to know how to pull it out. Well, he just saw it.
Can you see it okay now?
Yeah, we're watching it real well. I don't know why you started messing with it. I mean, you're zoomed in pretty good, though.
Yeah, I was zoomed in. As it moves, and
oh. Yeah, Mexican Spec can tell you all about the. Oh, there we go. There's down at the bottom of the chat. There's the link to Mexican Spec's Instagram, and he has an Instagram account. And if you go through there, you can see all the cars, see everything. Okay, and here I got a notice. We got ads coming in 1 minute. Sorry about that, people. Sorry about that, people. While the ads are coming in, I'll be quiet for 15, 20, 30 seconds so you can fill the ads. I'm getting cold. What is the temperature? Oh, it's come up. It's 56.
I'm trying to warm it up a little bit, but it's a chilly one. All right, I need you to pull up your phone and do a quick short.
I'm getting cold. I'm gonna do this. Sorry, people. I gotta get warmed up.
Actually, I'm gonna do the short. You're gonna be the short.
I'm gonna do the short. What am I gonna do?
You're just gonna say, and the engine's coming back out. Easy's pie. It's easy.
Okay, we'll do. Everybody's gonna watch us. Well, there's probably a commercial on now. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the commercial's over. I don't know.
Perfect time to do it.
We're gonna do a short. I'm gonna do the short, and Kim's gonna video me. So everybody's gonna watch me do short, I guess. Oh, you're cleaning your hands. Now I'm in the. And now we got sirens outside. We got a. This is crazy. We got sirens and we got cold and we got Kim cleaning her hands and me in the wrong camera. Okay, so what are we gonna? I'm gonna just stand in this and say what I'm doing.
Pretend like you're doing something.
Pretend like I'm actually doing the work.
I don't know. What do you want to say about it?
I know what I'm gonna say.
You do?
I just now you gotta be careful. You're stepping over a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Okay, here I am pretending that I'm working. Kim's actually doing this job, but this slant 6 is coming out again, so we can see. I'm pretending I'm lifting it up, but it's coming out, so we can put the camshaft in it, pull the head off, put new springs on it, and then we'll put it back in. But yeah, here we go, actually getting the job done.
You could say we do it nice because we do it twice.
Oh, you want to do it again? Okay, she wants
Yeah. We're gonna do it
take
again.
Take two. Oh, I just looked over. I can see, barely can see because I got the wrong glasses on. Tavo's in here, and I want to see Tavo, but we'll go ahead with the next short. We'll go with the next short.
Okay, ready, set, go.
Here we go. Kim's actually doing this. She has me doing a video, look like I'm actually doing the work, but she's pulling this out so we put the cam, and it's one of these deals where why do it right when you can do it twice? But all the bolts are clean and everything. She's got it up this far, so new cam, pull the head off, new springs, put it back together, put it in. Here we go.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, I'm back over on my camera. Let's see what.
Can you see? Okay, I can't see.
I don't know what's good. Hang on, I'm trying to. I'm multitasking here. Tavo. I missed Tavo. Oh, and Kim shut that off, so I got to come over here and change to. Oh, Kim, I don't know what I'm doing. How do I get one camera? That source is gone. Oh, I don't know what you've done. You've changed it.
It's all right.
You've changed it.
Just be patient.
Okay.
Just bear with me for a second.
Sorry, everyone. We're adjusting.
Is that currently what's
Okay, so how do I change? I go to scene 2. Is this? What is scene 2? Oh, that doesn't do anything. I'm completely mixed up. Oh, I see. There's a slider bar there.
Okay, give me a second.
All right. We're having camera issues, and we're trying to get it straightened out. This looks like TV from the 1950s when they used to have all kinds of dropouts in the TV, which was a thing back then. Oh, my hands are freezing. Oh, just a quick momentary visit. Hand it for, but not
I don't know.
going to. Souk. What does souk mean? Souk too much over it. Is that Australian speak? Souk. Okay, Kim, so how do I swap around stuff? Or you're still.
It's not working.
It's not working. Okay, so you're over there fixing it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
So we have a camera issue, and she's trying to get it under control. Man, Pablo, you must have set a record for crazy stuff in a live show on New Year's Eve. Well, New Year's for you. You're in there, in the shop, you cut yourself, you wrap it up, you tell us all about it, you drive yourself to the hospital, then you come back in the chat at the hospital, partway through the surgical procedure. They tell you to get off the phone, and then you come back on and you're on your way home, and then you get home and you tell us your painkiller is starting to wear off. Oh man, that was a crazy stream because we went over 6 hours, and that all happened. I'll never forget that night. And we're all worried about you, of course. Like, and it's howdy doody time. Tavo, I broke the stream again. Don't blame yourself. Too much tech at one time crashes it all. Burn Blaster. Damn, I like those 400 SS two-door short box from the early 90s. They didn't have them here in the U.S. Wouldn't mind having a truck that old if I was able to rebuild it. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, we're back to the split screen. Okay, Kim, how do I swap them back and forth? What?
Here, but you have to scroll.
Oh, okay. So it's just now there's a scroll bar. Oh, I go to here. Oh, yeah, I see. I understand. And then I go back to here. Okay, good. Understood. It's a little different than it used to be.
Yeah, but we can adjust.
But we can deal with that later. But right now, I'm able to do it. Burn Blaster, Mexican Spec. I'll BMU, so we're not clogging up the chat. Oh yeah, you talk about this stuff. Anything cars is.
I mean, you can clog that up a little.
Yeah, you can clog it up a little because everything Mexican Spec does is interesting, and everything everybody does in here with cars is interesting. So that's a pretty good deal.
But thank you for being
being polite about it, but that's okay. Yeah. Tavo, that's dedication, brother. Balin Wires, Old Iron. Hello. Good evening. Glad you're back here.
Okay, I gotta kick the feet on this to get it back.
Hippie Long, being our buffer and pics of our cars on New Year's. BBC was the backdrop. Oh, you know what? We do that every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night, we come on at 7 o'clock Central Time in the U.S., whatever time that is for you, and we do a live show with, I've got to move this camera. We do a live show with, I moved it the wrong way. We do a live show where we show pictures of everybody's cars and everybody's shops and streets and their face or whatever they want within reason. And we show it all on the green screen behind us. So that's not just one night.
You know what?
That's
put it on just you for a minute anyway.
Every Tuesday night we do that. Okay, It's going to take me a second.
That's our regular studio show.
Okay, I'm back on there.
And then every Tuesday we start with a different year to ask people to pick a car or send in photos or whatever.
Yeah, Tuesday night we pick a year. We have somebody in the chat pick a year, and then we send they can send in pictures of cars from that year, or of course pictures of their own cars and their own engines out and their shops and their whatever they're doing,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that. It gives the stream a little.
And if you're in your kitchen cooking oysters, that's good too. Let's see. I've done a short or two because I'm in the house and it's cold in the shop and I'm cooking something. I'll just put the camera on, do the short, and they're not our best shorts. They don't have the most views, but I get one up every day. So, like in the last year, I've missed one short. It was Christmas Day. I didn't do a short on Christmas Day. Let's see here. Tavo, where do you say it? I saw it. Oh, cuts are cuts, pain is pain. We've all been there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dirt Road Landing. Dirt Road Landing's here.
Welcome to the street.
Good evening. He says Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you as well.
Let's see. JB, okay, I'll let everybody read that. Mexican Spec says oysters. Good. I guess you don't like oysters. I don't know. You know what I like are the little cans of smoked oysters. I don't really like cooking oysters. I don't like them like that. But I like the little cans of smoked oysters. It's just they're so hard to find that don't come from China. And I'm sorry, I'm not eating canned food from China. But
yeah, like the Chinese don't even want it. That's bad.
What is the year for next Tuesday? Oh, it's 1955. 55. And that's what I always say. We're going to do cars kind of, I mean, I'll do any year, I guess, but 55 to 85, maybe, early 80s. And so we've done a bunch of them in there, you know, so, yeah, 55 on Tuesday night. Yeah, Dougster says smoked oysters are tasty. Yeah, I used to like to put them on crackers, but I that's carbs. I can't eat the crackers anymore. But I found something that I can eat that I used to think was disgusting, and it borderline sort of is, but it's crunchy like potato chips, and the carbs aren't high. And that's what are those things called? Pork rinds. So I've been eating some pork rinds lately as a snack because it's crunchy like a potato chip, and I can eat it. It's good. And I should get some smoked oysters and put them on there. Ooh, that's probably disgusting, isn't it? But I like Dirt Road says I like smoked oysters in a can. I just eat them right out of the can. That's what I do. I used to put them on crackers, but can't eat the crackers anymore. KJ Kylie, I'm still looking for a Fargo. Maybe I should talk Canadian Spec. Canadian Spec. Yeah, Mexican Spec. You ever go to Canada? I know Mexican Spec was up in Idaho and Oregon for a while, but he's done with that. Okay, let's see here. For some reason my neck itches. I'm cold. I'm right huddled up to the heater. What's going on with that fire? Yeah, Mexican Spec says, yes, that's a northern thing. We got Automex trucks here. Yeah, that's what you get, one that says Automex on it. That would be pretty cool. Drive around a truck set. Does it say Automex on the tailgate? Oh, I'd love that. Farm Blaster. And yes, I noticed they like to put stickers, especially doing SS emblems and stickers on the 99, like 07 Silverados. See, Olive says, I rather like Mutton Jeff's pork cracklings with the salt and vinegar. Ooh, what is that?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to have to look to see what that is. Mutton Jeff's pork. Okay, here we go, Kim. I'll never remember that, and I won't be able to find it in the chat when I go back and look at it later. So you know what I'm going to do?
Giving them ideas.
I'm going to... Where was it? Where was it? Did it scroll by already? Oh.
Mutton Jeff's pork cracklings.
There it is. Okay, got a picture of it. Got a picture of that chat from Olive. I'll have to go find that. Of course, Olive's over there in she's over in Georgia, so in Tennessee they probably have them here.
Might be the same here.
Yep, that's something. You move around the country, and some things. What are the potato chips? I never heard of them until I moved to Pennsylvania. Utz. People were talking about Utz. I had no idea what they were talking about. Okay, let's see here. I'll try to get down. Tavo says, my biggest complaint about this cut is inconvenience not being able to hold stuff with that hand properly. Anyhow, got to run at work. You're working. You're working with a botched up hand. You're amazing. Well, thanks for being here, and have fun at work. Let's try your favorite salsa with your pork rinds. It's a Mexican snack. You know, we do buy salsa in big old things of salsa for Kim. I should do that. Burn Blast, Ray Buff, what's your dream car of yours? Oh man, this is gonna go by fast. I'm gonna miss some. Some chat. I want to talk about that, but I'll get to it in a minute. I'm gonna go down the chat here, and I'll get back to the cars that I like. Bora Birkin, smoked sardines incoming. Oh man, I have sardines in the cupboard up there. Olive says best pork rinds in town are from the Mexican grocery. They make their own. Oh man, that's got to be local down there. Okay. Olive says it's a brown buff. They make pork rinds too. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna chase down the brand to see if I can find it. Okay, so the question was, what's some of my dream cars? You know, I like Fox Body Mustangs a lot. I really like. I just saw something else I wanna comment on. JB says sour cream and salsa pork rinds. You know, sour cream and salsa is something that Kim does a lot. Okay, so the cars. I always like Fox Body Mustangs. Yeah, Burn Blaster. I'm gonna get to it. I'll get to it. I just it was scrolling so fast. I was trying to catch some of the other chats, but I'm gonna miss some of them now because I'm gonna talk a bit about my favorite cars. Man, I got a list of them too, but I even got a list on my computer, just a little list so it's cars that I want. Uh, so I'd say probably close to the top of the list would be the Fox Body Mustangs. But the Mustangs, the good ones, you know, a lot of those got all beat up and everything. So the good ones go for a lot of money. And yeah, I'm on a budget like everybody, but I'm on a pretty tight budget. So when my Mazda got wrecked, and I got paid for it, although not enough to buy another one. Not another one as nice as that one. So I started looking around at what else I could get, and I really wanted something simpler than the newer cars. So I was looking at Fox bodies, and the Fox body that's not a Mustang that I like are the Fairmont Futura Coupe and the Mercury Zephyr Z7, which are the little short coupe that has it's kind of a band looking thing that goes around the top of the roof, kind of like a Thunderbird does. And the tops are much shorter than the box top Fairmonts. And JB in here found me one in the Dallas, Texas area. And I found several of them around, Futuras and Zephyrs around, but none of them were as good as that one. So I bought that one, and we went, Kim and I, and we did a video on the trip. We went to Dallas and came back. And the video is a pretty good one. It jumps like quickly, so you're not just going down the road. It's like we did this, and we fixed stuff. We had to fix stuff on the car before we could drive it back. You know, what's his name? Vice grip kind of thing. And so we fixed some stuff, and we brought it back. So let's see, what else do I like? So that's really one of my favorite cars, and I just got one, and it's sitting here now. So that was really good. I had a '64 Ford Galaxy. It was my first car, so I kind of have a soft spot for those. But of those Fords, the 1960 through 64, the 60, 61, and 62, I actually prefer the chassis on those because they made some changes to the front end on 63 and 64. They didn't handle quite as well, and there's ways to fix that. But I really like the 1960 full-size Ford a lot. And I like the wagon. the two-door wagon, 60 wagon a lot. And I had one of those at one time, wish I hadn't gotten rid of it. But I traded it straight off for a 67 Mustang Fastback. So, that was a pretty good deal. So I lost my two-door wagon. 1957 Ford wagons, two-door wagons. I had a whole gaggle of those things. So I wouldn't mind having another one. Or a Courier, the 57 Courier, which is like a two-door wagon, except it's a little, sedan delivery. That would be near the top of my list of cars to get. But they're getting old, hard to find. And when you find one, they want crazy money for them. What else? 67 through 9 Camaros, especially a 67 Camaro, first-gen Camaros. I had one of those and wouldn't mind having one again. And once again, that's one of those cars that just crazy expensive if you find a good one. Corvettes, probably any year Corvette. I had an 87 Corvette for 10 years that I got rid of. And that was one of those things. I just had too many cars and too much insurance and too much. Something had to go, and it went. What else? I suppose second-gen Firebirds are pretty nice, and third-gen Firebirds are pretty nice. Man, there are so many cars I like. Oh, and then you get to the Mopars. Man, 67 through 69 Barracudas. Man, that might be at the top of my list. 67 through 69.
That's a lot of cars.
Barracuda Fastback. Well, he's asking what I like. That would be at the top of the list. But once again, those are crazy expensive. And of course, the Dodge Darts that are 67 through 9s, I like those. And the what do you call them? The Valiants, and I have a 72 Valiant, and I really like the Utes down in Australia, and might even turn that into a project, making my Valiant into a Ute. Don't know. That's pretty good list right there. I can think of a couple others, ones that I'm sure people in here won't like. The Pontiac, what's a little baby Pontiac? Little mid-engine Pontiac. I can't think of the name of the Fiero. I love Fieros, but a lot of people don't like them. Mexican Spec. You paid insurance? I'm on Social Security. And my biggest expense every month is insurance. It's crazy. I pay car insurance on several cars. I pay insurance on my homeowner's policy. I pay insurance for I pay for my Medicare. People think you just get it. You got to pay for it. I pay the Medicare, and I pay the Medicare supplemental insurance. I think just about half my Social Security goes to insurance, which I'm sick about that, but gotta have it. Kim, what do you prefer, Utz or Hers? Herrs? Hers brand. What is Hers? I never heard of that. Never heard of that. She didn't respond to that question.
Sorry.
She's got her head buried in the Mopar cabinet of surprises, whatever she calls it. Let's see. Patrick Sullivan, my dream cars, don't laugh. 67 Tempest with overhead cam 6. Well, see, there's another thing I like. I love those overhead cam Pontiacs, but I had a friend that I think every car he had, he put one of those engines in there. He had like a 62 Nova with one of those engines in it, and his kids went to college. He put overhead cam 6s in. His daughter drove a 68 Firebird with a overhead cam 6, and I called him, and he goes, and he's 10 years older than me, And he goes, you know, those things are getting so hard to find parts for. He goes, I got rid of all of them. And so that's kind of where I am on the overhead Cam 6. My good friend that had nothing but overhead Cam 6s can't get parts for them. I don't know. I suppose they're around. Balin Wire Old Iron says 55 Bel Air for me. See, I never liked the Tri-5 Chevys that much. They're okay. And I mean, the Nomads were really good looking cars. But I was kind of a 56 Ford guy. And I like 55 and 56 Plymouths, but never had one. A lot going by here. JB, I love and have had several Fieros, been working on a factory T-top 88 formula. You know what I really liked about the Fieros was all the kit cars that were available for them. And if you know the story on the Mero, is that what it's called? Mera? M-E-R-A, I guess. Mera Fieros. It was developed by some company, and they sold them through Pontiac dealers, and they looked just like a Ferrari. And I guess GM got sued over that and had to quit selling them. But those things are around, and then people pulled molds off of them, and so all those Ferrari-looking Fiero kits were pulled off those Mera cars. Those are really cool. So yeah, I like those. And then there's the company that puts the small block Chevys in the Fiero. So if you had a Mera with a small block Chevy, oh my God, you'd have a car. You'd have something to run away from the Ferraris. Let's see here. Dean Stevenson, the 4.1 liter single overhead cam quadrajet. It's a great engine. What the heck was that? Fill me in on that. I'm kind of lost on that one. I mean, when you were younger, Buff. Oh, when I was younger, I had insurance? Oh, yeah. I had a deal with my parents. They let me have a driver's license and a car if I had insurance. If I could pay for a year's insurance, in California it was a year at a time. If I could pay for a year's insurance, I could pay for my own car. So I had a paper out, and I worked in a bicycle shop, and I saved money for 3 years, and I was able to buy a car and pay for a year's insurance, and therefore I got a driver's license. They allowed me to do that. So yeah, I've always had insurance. But Carvana, any particular color, yellow was very rare. I'm not sure that was. Oh, 87 IROC Z28. Patrick Sullivan, hen's teeth that are. Oh, Mike N says, I like Snyder's and Hanover. See, I know about those. See, and then I found out, like from Dougster says, the Utts are even further west than I thought. I just never heard of Utts until I moved to Sharon, Pennsylvania. And people were talking about Utts. I didn't know what they were talking about. I went to the grocery store. Sure enough. And you know what I did? I bought them right away. Yeah, JB says Mera. There was also another car that was a factory car built on the Fiero chassis that I really liked. Was the now I'm not going to be able to pull it up. Oh, what was that thing? It was like a little baby luxury car. Oh, I can't think of what that thing was called. Somebody will put it up here. Mexican spec. My interest in Fieros was. Oh, we got commercials coming in a minute. 1 minute. I'll shut up for a minute to let the commercials go by. My interest in Fieros was satisfied when they were on our Chevy lot. Never bought one for myself or sell after that. But Carvana says got one, got it stolen. But Carvana, oh, I missed that. Oh, okay, JB, reminiscent of the Monte Carlo custom cloud of the 70s. They were built on Rolls-Royce, served them. They were built until Rolls-Royce served them a Foot Locker lawsuits. Carvana 5.7. Okay, commercial time. Maybe the commercials are over. Why can't Nera plus small block? Oh, probably yeah. Mara probably plus small block Chevy. Oh man, would that be something? What was the other one? The I can't think of the name of it. The other little car that was a factory built off of the Fiero. Or can Arizona, can you run non-car performance parts? You're not supposed to do that anyway by federal law, but some places they don't check that. And of course, California is one. Oh, CARB is California. That's right, California Air Resources Board. So I'm sure you can. But the federal stuff, you're not supposed to take but everybody does. Zimmer Quicksilver, you got it, JB. Man, I'm right way behind in the chat. Yeah, Zimmer Quicksilver. Man, I love those things, but they didn't make very many of them. I think that is a great looking car. Um, but I'd rather have the Mara. Mexican Spec, you have many nice cars on your website. I see several I like. Yeah, you know what? In Mexican Spec, he does deliver in the U.S. and he comes through and he knows how to get the stuff in so you can pick them up in the U.S. and he has satisfied customers out there. So there's people that worry about buying stuff from Mexico, but he spent a lot of time in the U.S. buying and selling cars, and in Mexico he's the real thing, real dealer you can count on. Ring Slant fix. Hey, Dean Stevenson, I see where Tavo said he had to leave the live because he was at work. So I was wondering if maybe you had an email address for Tavo. Uh, they're probably about 3,000 miles apart. Dean's in New Zealand, and Tavo's in South Australia. But I'm trying to think of how I can get Tavo. Man, do I have Tavo's email address? I don't know.
You can message him on his.
Tavo! I know how you get a hold of Tavo. Tavo's got a YouTube channel, and just find Tavo, and you can look at his videos and get a hold of him. Yeah, Dean's right. Might be on his YouTube channel, or just make a comment on one of his videos and get hooked up with him that way. Patrick Sullivan, gotta have something for those folks that do not have commercials. Yeah, I think that's a hint, but that's all right. That part of PA is known as the snack belt. The snack belt. Are you messing with the fire, Kim?
No.
Oh, I was wondering how it's.
I saw a mouse.
You saw a mouse? Did any of you see my short video about the mice? I bought some mouse poison in a plastic box, and I hadn't opened the box yet. And the mice chewed through the box and got into the poison, got it themselves.
They were impatient.
Yeah, let's see here.
Tell me now.
Let's see here. Boat Anchor says a 225 slant 6 with a Clifford 6 equals 8 manifold. You know what we're using? We're using the two barrel. What do they call that? What do they call it, Kim? The Super 6. We have a Super 6 manifold on my Slant 6 2 barrel with a big Ford carburetor on it. And Kim's got this one, and I don't know, she may run the I don't know, carburetor. I can't think fast enough. This is going by really fast. Inventor of the Quicksilver not long ago had a Caddy 4.9 in it. And I don't especially like that engine. Man, I'd love to have a Quicksilver with a small block Chevy in, or an LS. Tugster Look for better made potato chips made in Detroit. When they started, there were 23 potato chip companies in Detroit alone. They are the last ones still operating. Good stuff. Dean says bar, car, BPA, just letters with a Z. Hippie Long, 360 Duster, Charger, and Baby Blue. There's a lot of cars I like. Man, there's a lot of cars I like. I'll tell you another one. The oldest car I like, probably a 36 Ford. I think that is just a body style, the front end on it, the grill. I mean, they just knocked it out of the park with that one. Some fool in California junked a Mara to the Pick Your Park. What the hell? You gotta be kidding me. You know, that's a car they could have got some money for. Even not running, even if it was a piece of junk. They could have got good money, and they took it to the junkyard. Idiots. Idiots. Dean Stevenson, I still love to give Toggle a hug, though. Yeah, it's kind of funny. People, it's like New Zealand and Australia are kind of down there together. But I was curious about how far apart you two would be. So I went on Google Maps and I did a distance between I don't know exactly where you are, Dean. So I just picked a place in the kind of the northern part of the South Island and over to and I know where Tavo is. And it was like 3,000 miles. And you could see it was, it was a curve. It was a great circle route. It was like, wow. Mexican Spec. Thank you. You put up Tavo's YouTube channel so it can be found. Man, I am way behind in chat. I'm sorry. I'm going to just skip over some of this chat. How could you not like the Cadillac 4.9? It was a solid engine. Yeah, wasn't it a lot like the 4.1? Didn't it have wasn't it aluminum engine? I don't know. I'm not sure I'm even thinking about the same engine as you are. Well, when I was young, I didn't like small block Chevys because I was into Fords and all my friends were into Fords. But now I really like the small block Chevy and even the LS and the Chevy, everything, big block Chevys, the Chevy 6s. And you know why? The bell housing, bolt patterns, interchange. I know the LS is a little different, but you can make it work. And Ford, 1 year to the next, they're different. They just piss you off, So, I really like small block Chevys. I got one sitting over there that's ready to get put into something. John Wilburn. Oh, John Wilburn's here. Hey, welcome to the chat. How did I miss you? Dad's favorite was 36 Ford as well. His first car was a 39. My father's first car was a 39 Ford. Later in life, he told me he thought it was a Mercury. So maybe he had a 39 Mercury as his first car. My mother always told me it was a 39 Ford. So now I'm not sure. Somewhere in my father's slides, which I have, there's a picture where you can see the back of that car. So I may be able to find that slide someday. Boat Anchor, I almost bought a 71 Challenger for $300 in 82. Yeah, there was a missed opportunity. You know how many cars I missed on? They're like, I could have bought one of those cheap. Or, I did buy it cheap and then sold it for $100 more and thought I made good money. Dick Dastardly, I want a Gremlin with a big butt stroker and a blower and a 4-speed. Hey, you know what? One of my best friends when I was young, like in the late 70s, he had a Gremlin with a 429 Ford with a tunnel ram on it. And I had my Cougar with the small block Chevy. We both had the rear end ratio on both those cars was 556. So you can imagine what those two cars were like on the street. Those are like, boom, half a block at a time, just beat everybody. Oh, Patrick Sullivan. Was that the North Star? I don't think the 4.9 was the North Star. The North Star is a pain in the ass engine, but you can fix it. You know. Yeah, I just posted Mexican Spec says I just posted a 71 Gremlin. It's a U.S. spec car that came into Mexico 30 years ago. You know, Mexican Spec, I was looking at that car, and I was thinking about a 429 Ford. Kim's gonna noise time. Oh, John Wilburn, here we go. If I may, we are announcing a big benefit for No Name Nationals registered channels on my Friday Live, and he put the okay. No, wait a minute. What's that? Is that for your live? Or okay, you're going to announce it on your live? Yeah, because we've talked about it a little bit because Shane told us about it, but I've really tried not to talk about it much because I don't know exactly what it is. But you know, we're in on that with the cam and lifters that Kim is ordering because Shane is doing a custom grind for us, and we hope to be able to use those DL what are they called, DLC lifters, and but we don't know if the lifters will be ready. No, the 4.9 was in the DeVille in '92 or so. Yeah, I don't really like that engine. I think some of those still had the leaky internal blocks, or maybe they didn't. I'm not sure. Ring Slant 6. While I think of it, that Clifford Slant 6 intake manifold has a provision for coolant heating the plenum floor hotspot, so those folks that yank stock exhaust manifold. Oh yeah, okay, so they can warm the bottom of it. JB, I give her crap to this day about that, and the '57 Dodge swept side could have had for $50. I remember when I was a kid, those Dodge swept side pickups, those things were all over the place. I mean, there weren't like thousands of them, but I mean, you know, if you drive downtown, you'd always see at least one of them run around, you know. Now those are gone. Dougster Caddy had both 4.1 V8 and 4.1 V6. The V6 was the same as the 3.8 Grand National guys, and the 4.16 engines. And okay, I don't know about the 4.1 V6. I know the 4.1 V8 was a engine that I strongly disliked because you get coolant in the oil, and GM's fix for that was they had these big pellets that would barely fit in the radiator, and you got a pack of them, and it was, I swear it was Barsley, and you put it in there, and that was supposed to keep the block from seeping coolant into the oil. You know, I had a cooling system shop. It's just like, get this crap out of here. I don't know if the larger Cadillac still had that problem. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. JB, you can take any car for $50 no matter what. Dean Stevenson, thanks, John Wilbur.
Because at some point you run out of space, or the municipality gives you grief.
But he says, give me a town car with a 302 over a Caddy HT 4100 any day of the week. Oh, I see. A town car like a Lincoln. Yeah, Cadillac 4100 was. I avoid those things like a plague. JB, a friend bought a '76 Chevette for $50 in '91. Used it on a rural mail route for 10 years.
And it's still worth $50.
And sold it to a friend of his. The guy still drives it. Has to have a million miles. Did he get more than $50 for it? He made money on his mail route, and I bet he made money on that car. Well, it depends on how kind of repairs he had to do, but I bet it wasn't much. It's a pretty simple car. Mexican Spec says any Cadillac with those engines would be ignored. I suppose if the engine's already bad, you could put something else in it.
Depends on where you live.
Yeah, but then what would you want? I mean, what would you want it for? You know,
Well,
put an earlier Cadillac engine in it, use it for
some places
demolition dirt. Oh yeah, like Kim says, it depends on where you live because it might be all iron oxide by now.
I gotta make noise for a second.
Okay. Robin Banks, AB 1972 or AB 2225, which would be Assembly Bill. Which is newer CARB bill? So CARB is California Resources Board, which is like the extreme EPA just in California. But I guess there's a few other states now that are following some of it, which really sucks. So anyway, Roe was asking about these assembly bills in California, if somebody knows about that. Raining Slant 6. Headers where you wind up deleting stock exhaust heat riser valve using exhaust to heat intake plenum. Now you do it with a heater. My Slant 6, that is cut apart and welded off, and there's a space between there. So I have a manifold. I have exhaust manifold, but there's no heat, very little heat going to that manifold. I don't have any problems at all. That was an Uncle Tony. Uncle Tony did that to that manifold and that exhaust manifold, and I'm running it without any problems.
Well, it's as long as you're not running it in the northern climate.
I'm not running. Yeah, I'm running it in Tennessee in the summertime. We're not running it right now in a cold winter. Boat Anchor. I also had a chance to get a 68 AMX for $1,500, but his wife said no. JB Swept side was made to compete with the Chevy Cameo and GM Suburban Carrier. I remember those Cameos being around. And I actually, when I was a kid, I liked the Swept side better because it actually had fins on it. And the Cameo is a pretty good looking truck. JB says, Kim, so true. What's that about?
Because you can only have so many. You gotta pick.
There were two 4.1s.
Unless you live way, way out the sticks.
Dean's going over all this stuff. I'm going to let everybody read that. Dougster says 4.1 V8 out, 500 caddy. Yeah, man, do I like 500 caddies. What was his name? Richard. I can't think of names. The dyno guy out in Vacaville, California.
Holder?
Richard Holder.
Am I right?
You're right. You're gonna give yourself
points.
A point. You give yourself
points. Richard Holder. If somebody else got it, did someone else pop it up or no?
He had a Nova, but I think he gave it away on his channel. But he was going to use that Nova for just a mule car, like a drive down the road dyno. And he had a 500 Cadillac he was going to put in there. The Buick 3.8 didn't like being bored out to 250 tubes for 4.1 liters. That's crazy. A 3.8 Buick, the front drive one. What's his name? I can't think of his name. You probably know his name, Kim. He's a YouTuber. He's over on the east side of Tennessee. And he built that little Geo Metro with a 3.8 Buick.
The name isn't going to come to
turbocharged, and he put it in the rear of that thing. Had it at No Name National, and he drove it there from eastern Tennessee. Drove it home, and that thing was god dang fast, man.
I don't know. Somebody would know who that was. Give them some points on it. I don't know the name.
Mexican spec says I don't have a heater in my Slant car. No factory heater. Well, what's that? That's the '63 Plymouth. Well, it's a Mexican. Oh, it's a Mexican car. I thought you bought that in the U.S. I don't know, huh? I remember when I was in Hawaii, that was a standard thing. You go out and look at new cars in dealers, and one of the options was it was a minus number, and it was a delete heater, and the cars didn't have heaters in them. Brand new cars in Hawaii, because I mean, I knew a guy that was in Hawaii, a friend of mine in Hawaii, and he said the coldest he'd ever seen it was 49 degrees, and it was one time, and man, he got stationed at Travis Air Force Base with us, and that guy froze his ass off because Travis Air Force Base is kind of, it's Bay Area, a little bit northern of the Bay Area, and it gets, gets down in the 20s pretty regularly in the winter, and he was really uncomfortable. So Hawaii's a pretty nice place.
Oh boy, did I struggle to find all the bolts for that.
What is this? Dick Dashley says backfired out of the radiator cap. Backfired out of the. I don't know what that's about. I missed something.
What backfired?
I don't know. Dick Dashley said backfired out of the radiator cap. So I missed part of the conversation. Mexican spec said Matt's. Oh, was the head gasket on backwards. Tim Stevenson, Cadillac's reshuffled engine lineup from 80 to 83 was a disaster. Yeah, give me the 350 Olds gasoline EFI engine. Oh, that engine was, the gasoline one was great. That's what was in the Sevilles. I remember when the 76 Seville came out, I just loved that car, but it was expensive. I was a young kid and didn't have any money. Well, that's when I first had my radiator shop, and I was making payments on a loan and working, and trying to make a living, Didn't own a house yet, paying rent on an apartment. It kept going up, and then, the usual 20-something-year-old thing. Dougster says 500 Caddy is a low RPM, big torque engine. They dislike hard use. Yeah, but can you imagine that in a Nova with highway gears? Man, would that thing pull? No, but Fury is a US spec car. That's what I thought. The Savoy. Okay, the Savoy. That's a 500 Caddy will make the power, but for how long? Oh, I'm thinking like in something like a Nova, and you gear it real high, like highway gears. And if you want to pass something, you just roll into it, and it'd probably take off, Hot Rod Guy Garage. You're right, Lester. You get some points. Kim, how many points?
What did he think of?
Hot Rod Guy Garage with the 3.8 in the. It was a Swift, which is the same thing as a Geo Metro.
3 points.
3 points. He gets 3 points.
It's also given a call.
Okay, and you get Studebaker the flash time up there. There you go.
You can't give out the Studebaker flashes.
I gave him a short flash on the Studebaker.
Thank you. You did good job. Check him out. He's part of our Nationals group, and he has a YouTube channel.
Okay. Ringing Slant does something. Yeah, Mexican spec. You don't need a heater in most of Mexico, except maybe at night in the bone dry desert where the temps get pretty chilly. But that doesn't work up here in New York in the wintertime. New York in the wintertime is, oh man. It's like Northeast Ohio. Coldest place I ever lived, though, was Brookings, South Dakota. Eastern South Dakota, right on the Minnesota state line. That was cold. But I was a kid then. It's fun when you're a kid and you don't have to dig cars out of the ice. Dean Stevenson, going back to throttle body injection after having port EFI Oldsmobile. Oh, that was stupid. Huh. I don't know about that. JB, there was a 59 Dodge in Arizona salvage auction a while back. No factory heater, no radio, 6-cylinder 3-speed. I'd have loved to have it. Yeah, nothing like simple cars or trucks. Oh, that could have been a car. Dougster, during World War II, my friend's grandpa was stationed in Antarctica, where it got 70 below. He did work detail outside, 5 minute. Isn't that where your father was?
My dad was in Antarctica.
Yeah, her father was in Antarctica in the
In
Navy,
the
and
Navy.
he ended up very, very injured from some Navy problems, sadly. Uh, but I don't know if that was in Antarctica, but he was in Antarctica. I always wanted to go to Antarctica, and every year in the Air Force, I'd sign up for Operation Deep Freeze, but uh, I never got chosen for it. There were always so many people wanted to go. It's just I didn't get to go. Don Abercrombie, Delco Romy, EFI. Don, welcome to the chat. You're new here, I think, unless you've just been lurking. I don't remember seeing you. Good to see you here. Russ, yeah, his Geo 3.8 V6, great car. Yeah, I always think it's a Geo Metro, but it isn't. It's actually the one that has the Suzuki name on it, but it's the same damn car. 76 Seville is a fancy Nova, a really fancy Nova, but they beefed up the frame and they had everything was beefed up on that, had bigger brakes. It was a heavy car, but and I drove one once, and I had Novas back then. I always thought it would be the ultimate Nova, but it was quite a car. But you know, try to find one now that's any good. Kim, are you doing something with gasoline?
No.
I smell something. Did you spray something?
That came out of the filter on that car. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we need to do something because we got a fire going in here. Oh yeah, Suzuki Swift. JB got it. I just swung my head around, noticed that. Okay, what do we do with the? That's water on the floor. I can see that. So it's not a whole lot of gasoline.
No, but
Where's the gasoline smell coming from? Or maybe it's coming from the car.
Maybe a little bit out of there.
Okay, it's no great amount. We don't have to worry about any about our wood stove.
No puddle, no.
Okay, Can you take care of the chat for a few minutes while you're washing your hands? Okay, I'm gonna go check out the wood stoves. Sorry.
Well, you know what? We could call it. No.
I want to see what's going on.
You do that. Okay. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Well, Dexter's still here. Dexter, are you off this week?
So yeah, how many people are in there? We got a lot of people.
I've decided to get dual fuel inlets for my ABS2. That should help throttle response. Interesting. That does sound like fun. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I haven't been following chat very well. I heard you guys talking about some things. Car engine's out though. Did you guys see that? Huh? Engine out. Time to get some service done. Boy, it feels like I just had this engine out last week. Man. Good night, Mexican Spec. Uh, I've worked with two Operation Deep Freeze guys, Kevin Facer and Paul Jennings. Great guys. One is a mechanic down there, the other on the Ice Core Diamond Drilling team. Cool, Dean. My dad was in Antarctica in 68 or 69, something like that. Olive was watching. Thank you, Olive. They're all talking about their cars.
Kim, there's a lot of new people in there you don't know.
I'll try and learn the new names.
Okay.
It's going to take me a little while.
How many people we have in there?
I don't know. Enough.
Okay.
Enough.
I got this thing going a little bit better. Just I'll be back.
Big lumpy cam time. Cam that stops the fan. Just kidding. I mean, maybe we will. Maybe we will. We're gonna see. I don't know that a big lumpy cam. How much extra horsepower can you get out of a really big cam on a slant six? I think all it does is it just moves the torque curve up. And you don't really want to do that with a slant six because of the long stroke. It's just not the right engine to do that with. I don't think.
Kim, I'm leaving for a minute.
Okay.
But I'll be back.
I was grinding. See here and here, the two bolts that go into the engine that hold it to So I was trying to find the bolts that I used because I just had it on this stand, and I'm searching and searching and searching, and I'm tired of walking around in circles. And finally, I realized that the bolts that fit that were the right length that I had used before, were the transmission crossmember bolts, and they are still in the transmission crossmember. So I decided to use some threaded rod to make replacement ones. Olive says slants mostly have breathing limitations. Yeah, but a cam doesn't necessarily like solve that problem. Like I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Professor P. He's gonna spec me a good cam, but I don't know. I don't know why is this weird like this? Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. Custom cam grind prescribed by Professor P will be amazing. Yeah, and he understands how I want to be able to use this car. And I was looking at a looser converter. It's on an angle, Kim. It is. It's laying way over. We're gonna set it up in a minute. Yeah, only so much flows, whatever you do. Now I did do a little bit of a lot of bit of valve deshrouding and like better than three angle uh, valve job kind of opened up, the valve shrouding and stuff like that. The slant six, I mean, it's laying way over there, but it's heavy. I need help to get it up straight. Lumpity lumpity tractor exhaust node. Yeah, I know, guys, but it's still got to be a car that can be driven practically. Now, think about it though, is I'm never going to use this as like a daily driver. This car's too old to ever go back to like daily, like that type of purpose use. So I should make it fun. And I don't know. To make it do what I wanted to do with a torque converter, it's upwards of $1,100, and I cringe at the thought of investing that much more money in the car because I'm already in, I don't know, probably double what I could get for the price of the car. Nobody would buy this car from me. Nobody. So it's mine forever. So I guess I make it the way I want it. I don't know. I thought I had my mind made up to spend the money, and then I talked myself out of it again. So I don't know. It's a lot of money. It seems irresponsible. Well, but people like burnouts. But I don't want. If I start doing burnouts in the car, I'm gonna pitch a drive shaft. I'm gonna
Break the rear end.
break the rear end. Yeah, it's like, do I wanna? I'm just gonna make trouble for myself. Right now, it won't make enough power to break itself.
But he says, how long before the engine goes back in waiting to see Buff's car in the shop?
I
Oh,
know.
well, here's the thing. We've got to get that. We're having a custom campground by Shane Polito, and he's not going to be able back to work till the 6th. So, it's like,
It's
that's
gonna
worth
be,
waiting for.
yeah. And I don't know if he has the cam already made or if it's gonna how long it's gonna take it to make it or whatever. I don't know.
And then we really want the DLC lifters.
We could tie the transmission up and then push the car out.
Push a non-running car outside again. And then bring mine in here and take it all apart. And then we've got mine apart. And then your parts come in. And I don't know. We don't have room in the shop for 2 cars.
Raining Slant 6 with a chance of cannonballs says the stock intake and exhaust were sized for the 170 engine. Correct. Correct. And you really can't squeeze a whole lot more valve in there. And the bottom end is built for absurdly stronger than it ever needs to be. Make it crackle and shoot flames at night. Probably not.
Run a fuel line back there and a spark plug in the exhaust pipe and
Probably
make so like an afterburner out the back of the car.
Probably not. So it might be weeks.
Well,
unfortunately.
This cam we're supposed to get, the lift is supposed to be slightly more than stock, but not much, because I would really like Shane to tell the whole story on it. But then the duration is a little bit more, and the lobe separation angle is different. But he says he goes, you won't be able to tell by the way it runs. It'll idle nicely, everything will be nice, because you'll notice the power difference. So it's like, okay, well, that's good.
This was not plop it of ice. Potato, 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 potato. We're going to work on it. It'll be good. I mean, it was already going to run really well. I don't know if you heard. No, did I leave the sound in? I left the sound in on the video on my channel.
Oh, but not on the one on my channel. Oh, so you have to go to Kim Fixes Things channel to see the sound.
And
to see sound, no, to hear sound.
It was so, I was like, but it wasn't going to continue to sound that way as it wiped the lobes, so it had to come out. But it sounded real good. But just it sounded like a real healthy slant, and it ran nice and smooth, and when you opened it up, it was just like, boom. It was good and tight and strong. It's going to run really good. And we're not going to do anything that's going to endanger the engine because we want it to run for a good long time. And I think that we're probably just going to leave this car a Slant 6 for the long haul. If we want to put something bigger like that 318 over there or the 360 that's sitting out back, we'll probably put that in some other vehicle. Dean says a 3.4-inch bore doesn't need any more than 1.62-inch valves. It's got a 12-port head.
There's a lot going on in that head, isn't there? So spacing on the cylinders is close, and there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's very busy.
Well, I'm seeing something else here. What was it? Oh, Buddy Garfon says finish the dart first. Heater core will take some time to do that, and that's what I think, because I know the first thing I'm going to do on that thing is pull the front seat, either shove it in the back seat if I can, or take the front seat out. And then I got to figure out where to put the front seat because I don't want it to get ruined because it's still pretty nice. And then we'll have room to work under there. And yeah, that's a pain in the ass job. And we're not working 8-hour shifts out here. So, it's going to be
that's the other thing
one of those things.
With the timing is I'm not really all that upset about the fact that it's going to take some time to get the cam, because I guess it's supposed to be really cold coming up here shortly. So I'm taking some carburetor and transmission parts into the house, and I'm going to do some bench work in the house, because it's tough to keep this big shop warm when it gets super cold like that. Like tonight, the best we can do is get it up to almost 60. And And this, I have not let the fireplace go out since last
I
night.
messing with it just now. I just messed with it, and just rearranged some things, and it came up 100 degrees, and I turned the fan on low, blowing across the chimney. So I don't know if that will help get some of it over here or not. But I feel better already. Just going to the bathroom helped a lot.
Um,
Oh, boat anchor, going to bed now. See you. Okay, hey, thanks for stopping in, and thanks for getting that radio done real quick and getting it out. Really appreciate it. I'm just all excited about that thing. I'm really excited about it.
um, I know you can get bigger valves into that head. I just it was a cost consideration. I didn't think we were going to need to put a cam in it. I thought we were going to, be done where we were and just enjoy it the way it was. And now we're into cam replacement, and
Yeah, boat anchor. When we get down to the house, I'll check my email. I'll be right at my desk doing that. So thanks.
so you know it is one of those can of worms things. You want to put a bigger cam in, and then you got to buy new lifters and new springs, and then you want bigger valves, and then you got to cut down the guides and open up the seats, and there's just a it goes on and on and on if you're not careful. And this
This
is,
isn't made to go out and set records. It's just a car that's a little faster than it originally was.
and I think if we were going to spend all that money, we probably wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to start with a slant six. I mean, what do we have there to prove?
What's that? You don't know if we're going to start with the slant six.
If we're going to do all that kind of work
Oh,
and invest all that kind of
oh
money
yeah.
in
Why would you start?
aftermarket parts,
Oh, here we go. Max headroom.
I kicked the table. I think I killed it.
Oh, you bumped the table and it did that. Oh, it's something with the camera then, because the camera's on the table.
Maybe the wires are getting funny.
Funny wires. Hey, everybody, we got funny wires. Oh, but Joey, am I interrupting something? I hope not. You just in here with everybody else. That's a good thing. What's going on, Paul? We Kim pulled her engine out on camera, and now we're yeah. See, there it is. I'm old and don't do cold anymore. Remember working in a driveway covered in snow and young. Yeah, that's how it was in Ohio. You know, when do brakes fail? Like when does Northeast Ohio where there's rust on everything? When is it when you step on the brakes and a brake line breaks and the fluid all pees all over the ground? You don't have any brakes on half your system. That happens on a cold, snowy night when you got to go to work the next morning. So then you work on the snow and the ice on your brakes. You replace a brake line, and then it gets stuck in the wheel cylinder. So you got to put a wheel cylinder, and it goes on, and you do it in the snow and the ice on a piece of cardboard out in the driveway. No more of that. We're in Tennessee now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, Dean, I've never worked on a 250 inline Fords.
well,
Running slant
250.
six with a cannonball, I get it. Just trying to get easy, low cost gains where you can. Yeah, because I bought the car and I was enjoying it, but while we had it out because it was leaking oil, and then we realized, like, oh, the bottom end is actually pretty worn out. So we got this bottom end, and I thought we were just gonna swap the other head, and it was like, well, while I have it apart, I'm gonna clean up the valves and make sure the ports look good. And I did a little work on there. And, at this point, we're months into the process. And I thought we were only going to take a couple of weeks.
Dean Stevenson, he made that comment about 250 inline Fords. Now that's a lame engine.
Yeah.
That's just a higher deck height version of the engine I have in my car, and it is a lame engine because of the head. The head design sucks.
Oh.
So it's just like, I know how to get more power out of it. Turbo it, or spray it. I mean, I'm not going to do that.
There were no doubt.
It drives fine. It gets me down the road. It's pretty good.
I have seen some people do some pretty amazing stuff with Slant 6s because I was around Slant 6s a lot, and I know it can be done. But I just don't, even naturally aspirated, I've seen people do some pretty impressive stuff with the Slant 6. But they also had the money to throw at it, and I just, I don't know. Is that entertaining? Would you guys be entertained? I don't know. We're not getting a lot of views from our YouTube content, and I don't know why that is. There's no way to really ever know for sure, and maybe I don't want to chase something that's not gonna change anything anyways. I just want to enjoy the car. I've seen the best horsepower per dollar, a set of triple. That looks like
SU carburetors.
Okay. On an offie intake. Oil splash control. That's one thing I never did any in here. Is any
we didn't do that. We didn't
any
do
baffling or any kind of.
Oh man, I got throat itchy.
Are you sure you want to stay working out here?
Well, I want to sit down in front of the heater again. I don't know. What's your thought? I mean, we have gone 2 hours and 15 minutes.
That's what I'm kind of. It's cool. It's a very cold night.
It's a cold night.
We made good progress. Got the motor out.
The temperature has come up in here. We were 51 degrees? We're at 59 now. I don't know. That's up to you. Yeah, I mean, it's getting late. And, we had 27 people in here. We had, 38 or something?
I don't care how many people there is.
If there's one person here, we'll keep talking to you.
But I guess I'm kind of feeling not so well. I met my goal.
You met your goal.
I wanted to get the engine out and get it on the stand. And I didn't even know if I'd get it on the stand. I kind of thought it would be easier to get it on the stand. You know why I had so much trouble getting it on the stand? Because the bolts I used to mount it to the stand are in the transmission cross member.
Hey.
Oh, Patrick Sullivan, thank you so much.
I have an error here.
Super chat.
See the Baker. Patrick Sullivan, thank you. Paul says, "Are you sick, Buck?" This is the deal. I guess I'm sick. It's like something I can't do anything about. I have diabetes and I have high blood pressure, and I take a couple of meds and I watch my diet and everything's good. But one of the meds I take for the blood pressure, one of the side effects is it makes your throat dry. It gives you a little bit of not a sore throat, just gets dry sometimes. You get a cough. So what I do is I just keep these cough drops around, and when it starts getting dry and irritating, I have sugar-free, because I'm diabetic. Sugar-free cough drops, generic ones from Walmart. And so if I start sounding like I'm a little bit in my throat, I am. Well, thank you for the super chat there.
It's never expected, but always appreciated.
Team Stevens said 6-cylinder content is the most difficult. Everybody likes all the super fast stuff and V8s and all that, but these things go down the road just fine, and they're kind of fun. And then when you hang out with somebody like, Shane from Slant Daily Garage, Shane Polito, he's a car guy all the way. He's an engineer, works at Edelbrock and designs cams, and he's in all kinds of projects. A really cool guy. And what's he have at home? Slant 6s. So that's pretty good, So, in fact, a lot of times he's working in his shop, and he's got a big screen in there, and he just runs our lives while he's working. So you never know when he's lurking in here. Kind of late tonight, but he could be. So have them change it. Had this same stuff. I'm diabetic, heart issues, 11 stents. Oh my God.
It's difficult
That's what
changing meds, so he's hesitant to even suggest it, but
I've
it
got
may happen.
what I'm taking. The one that does it is Lisinopril, and Lisinopril works. And other things I've taken didn't work as well. And this is like a minor inconvenience.
Buddy Carfana says the channel shows that normal people can do in their garage, not just bolting on sponsored parts. And what makes your channel great? Well, thank you. I don't know that it makes us. It just makes we have to be practical. Like we have to be practical. Like we need to have food and a place to live and heat and stuff like that. And like if we chase after it, we don't have the support to. I don't know, some of those bigger channels, and look at like some of those bigger channels have run themselves into horrible debt. How are those people not really suffering? We'll only have ourselves to blame if we get ourselves into a bad place. But
These are supposed to come from the USA. They're not Chinese. That when I read that, I went, uh-oh.
But if you want to relate to a wider audience, you have to be able to do burnouts and be all fast, and you got to get things done quick, and that takes money, and it takes more manpower than we have here. I can only work a few hours at a time, and then I'm exhausted because he's retired and I'm disabled. So, but I mean, I really enjoy, like we've talked about it, and what was it? We've talked about making different kinds of content. And the problem is if we try to make content that is more mainstream, it brings in people that we don't really necessarily want around.
And the people already doing that stuff. Big channels already doing that stuff. And
just do what we want to do.
We're doing what we do. And it's a little shop next to an old hillbilly house in Tennessee. It's kind of what we do. Oh, Paul wasn't here when we were talking about when we're getting the cam. We're getting it from Shane Polito from Comp Cams, which is also Edelbrock. And he won't be back at work till the 6th. So when he gets back to work, we'll be hearing from him.
We actually did buy a cam from Rock Auto, but we are going to return it because
couple of reasons.
Well, because we can get a reasonably priced cam that is made by someone who really knows the car and the build.
And I didn't like this cam because it had rust on it.
It does have some rust on it. Yeah.
That's not cool. So what is this? Dean Stevens. I'd like to take something that has MSG. Spicy noodles and yellow colored food in a cup isn't well look. Okay, and here we go. A super chat.
Rainy Slant 6 with the chance of cannibals. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Build it and they will come. And I you know what? I think that we have sort of tried to focus. And who they is the people who are the audience that we want to have, the people that we enjoy spending time with.
Look at all the people we have in here that kind of enjoy whatever we're doing. I guess you do because you're here. And we're doing Slant 6 and then another Slant 6. Well, we did my Valiant, and then we do this one. And my car has a 6 in it, which I really didn't want one of the 6, but I don't care. Maybe I'll put something else in it someday. But I'll drive that. We have we're going to be building an aluminum car body, which that's going to be a fun project. And I don't know if anybody here will like that, but it's just be us tinkering in the shop making an aluminum body, you know. And I think some of it's just because we're here doing something, you know. Paul says, plus Shane will make sure it gives your car a little extra power.
He said he had a lobe design that would
what he said.
Increase power, but not affect the bottom end.
What he said was the lift will be slightly more, not much,
Like hardly any.
but the duration will be a little more, and the load separation angle will be different, and it won't idle it funny or anything else. It'll just be a smooth running engine, the power being a low end, and it'll be you know, he's kind of following the project and he likes it.
Yeah, Shane saw this. Shane's known this car since before I had. So he's when he found out, I'm sure he was excited when he found out he needed a cam, and he was like, I'll make him a cam. So I mean, we have to pay for it, but I know he'll make it worth our while.
Buddy, I appreciate that. You guys should have way more subs. Best channel on YouTube.
Thank you for saying that. I don't know. I think a lot of people don't find what we're doing very entertaining, but it's what we're doing. It's what we like. We are real. Like, we're pretty honest about what we're doing. And there was a little while there where I was kind of chasing, trying to get views on YouTube, but I realized it wasn't maintainable, and it was overwhelming. And it was like, no, we need to just stay along. Like, we need to just like stay in our lane and realize that we're not racers, we're not dyno horsepower number people.
We're racers. Like, go to No Name Nationals and run down the track and kind of see what you turn. Or I'll probably race her, my 6-cylinder against her 6-cylinder. Although mine's stock and hers is not. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be interesting. I'm looking up there at my clock and my thermometer. It's actually warming up in here a little bit.
You guys and your stents. You don't have any stents.
Not yet.
You're lucky.
Yeah, maybe. I'm afraid it'd be like my brother. My brother went in there and needed a stent. They couldn't do it, and they ended up breaking his chest open and doing a quadruple bypass. And it's like, oh man, jeez. Yeah. Went to the doctor again. Paul says, I just bought an RV cam for my spare holes 350. Well, this is actually going to be kind of interesting because, like Shane says, it's a custom drawn cam. So
here's the cam that came out of the other Slant 6, the first Slant 6.
First one.
Yeah, this is the one that came out of it's in the car from its birth.
What am I? I'm rolling over something. Oh, problems. Electrical cord. I'm going to try to slice an electrical cord. Yeah. With a caster.
As far as we know, this is its birth cam. And it
Oh, that came out of the first engine?
Yeah, but if you look at it, it's pretty
that's got a zillion miles on it.
I think it does. And look at the wear pattern on the high end of the lobes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It was still going. I don't know though. It might not even been spinning lifters. I don't remember checking it.
Yeah, the open chest is the real deal. They use limb loppers on the ribs. Somebody I know real well has had a valve replaced in his heart. Both times they broke his chest open and did it. And he may have to have it done again in a few years. And now they're not breaking the chest open anymore. They're doing it laparoscopically. And now they're putting valves in there. His is from a pig. Now they're putting some kind of plastic, some kind of fancy man-made stuff. And to me, that's pretty interesting. Here we go. We got an ad coming in 1 minute. Lester Slaver, I had a stress test and it gave me a heart attack. Holy crap. Don't worry any of that stuff for me. They're giving you a stress test and you got a heart attack. I guess that was overdid it. The camshaft looks like a trophy waiting to happen.
Right? It's kind of heavy though, and it'd be kind of hard to keep it from falling over and busting.
Use that cam for a mailbox post. It'd be kind of short. There was a guy in a neighborhood, or a family in a neighborhood where I grew up, and they had some crank out of a straight eight. I think it was a Pontiac straight eight, and they had a mailbox on top of that. Crankshaft, big long crankshaft. That was pretty cool. Ads. We have ads now.
Oh, I forgot they did that. They put the hole in there so that it drains. If you look at it,
I'm not
looks
sure
like
what you're talking about.
some of these
What are you talking
cam
about?
lobes are sort of.
What are you talking about? The hole?
That's to drain the.
Oh, here and here?
No,
No.
the one that goes straight through.
Here? What's that for?
To drain behind the cam, so it doesn't build up pressure.
Oh, that's a non-stock thing.
No, that's a factory thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know because I
I
don't
think
know
this is a
the I don't know
factory
the
cam.
system that well.
Well, since
Patrick
there's
Sullivan,
oil pressure
timing-
through those holes.
Timing chain gear at the base. Oh, I see. That's what make it stand up.
Yeah, I
Ringing
mean that's
slant
a
6.
heck of a
Kim
long.
does that. Cam have some purple paint on the shaft part, or is it just the lighting? Let's see. That's just. There's no purple paint on it that I ever saw. Haven't had many ads at all. Yeah, I've got them spaced right now as far as I can. As far as I can have them spaced out, which is 30 minutes.
That's the light. There's no purple.
There's no purple.
Nah, this is just a regular.
Dean Stevens said to have a 59 engine still being energetically services and merchandised in 2025. It proves you're in the right team. Oh, these guys right now with the what are the Hemis, the really expensive Hemis, really fast ones, and they can't get head gaskets for them anymore, and they're like 2017, 2018, 2019 engines. Can't get head gaskets anymore.
And a engine with 4 cams. You gotta get them all. I mean, when I got this car, I didn't realize it needed an engine, but I knew it probably needed a refresh. But we got the block for really cheap.
Oh,
But-
this engine we got.
But
we
our
got this cheap.
time is just ugh.
Did it ticks? Push rods are supposed to spin. Oh,
They
We-
didn't spin.
there's a video out about it. There's more than one video out about it. I've had so many comments of just run it, and one guy says put I don't know what kind of oil treatment in it. Go out and like second gear, go down the highway at 75 miles an hour for 2 hours. They'll start turning. You know what? I've seen one engine for sure. The guy did a 2-hour break-in and wiped the cam out because one of them wasn't turning.
2 hours?
20 minutes. I mean, it was 20 minutes.
You mean DD Speed
It was
Shop?
DD Speed Shop wiped out a cam in 20 minutes.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He used the
And-
right oil and everything.
And he was using the right oil, doing the right RPM, doing everything. And he wiped out a cam in 20 minutes. No, I'm not doing that. We ran it about 3-4 minutes at the most. I do not want to get any. But
No,
it's such a nice engine. Why risk getting metal in it?
It
Just
didn't
change the
tick
cam.
because I had it
you know.
adjusted properly.
Oh yeah, and people say that.
But it would have.
They were
Once
too
it finished
tight.
wiping off the lobes.
Loosen up the rockers. Now they were, if anything, they were a little bit on the
Yeah.
loose
That's
side.
why the engine's back out. Because we put it in, we started it, and in the test run, it didn't spin. So we should have replaced the cam and lifters.
It was Kim made one of those judgment calls on a cam that was
The short block
was-
was recently
wait a minute.
rebuilt. I thought it would be okay.
it was one of those judgment calls putting a used part in where you think, oh, I think it'll be okay, and then
And I did
And then when
mark
it
the
gets in
lifters
there-
when they came out to make sure they went back in the same place, same holes.
We-
I figured, oh, it'll be okay.
we did all that, and
Armchair mechanics. That's us.
and then we had four of them that didn't spin. It's like, oh no. So we really didn't even let it warm up. It was starting to get warm. I don't think the thermostat was open yet. Oh, I got the hiccups. I'm sorry. The thermostat was not open yet. It was just like, okay. Then we started right back up. I ran it through the gears to make sure the transmission worked, and then turn it right back off. So that engine, if it has 5 minutes on it, I doubt it. So we don't all of everything's still operating. The valves are still opening. So I don't think we've wiped out a lobe or anything. There's no metal in the oil. We're just why not just fix it right? So we're gonna
Well,
fix it right.
I mean, especially it sounded so good, and everything else has now been gone through. Like we're gonna do it, and then the engine will be really, really, really good, gooder than we ever intended it to be.
Okay, Grease Monkey says, no armchair here, just don't have the time to be a keyboard warrior. Yeah, and I understand that too. It's just that I can't believe some of a lot of comments, like the people in here, they're all here, will come in and leave comments that are pretty decent comments. But some people leave stuff like, what are they thinking? Like put STP oil treatment in it, and go out and run it down the highway as fast as it'll go for 2 hours. They'll turn. No, that's what ruins engines.
Paul, that
Yeah.
oil filter doesn't have 10 minutes on it, and I'll
Oh, that oil is toast. That oil is good for starting fires.
you and your oil.
You
Okay,
can, well, I don't know. You might want to use the oil again. I don't know. It's up to you.
we'll see. When we
Yeah.
pull the cam out, if there's any reason to think that it has been ground, I'm telling you, the lifters, just because they didn't spin doesn't mean they were shredded. They
Oh
just didn't
no.
have any spinning action occurring.
Yeah,
We
it
didn't
won't
run them
spin.
hard enough for them to grind up in the engine.
Yeah,
Thank you, Grease Monkey
and
75.
see, and then in that video we
I
did,
appreciate you taking the time to understand
there's a
where we're at with it.
there's a video we made in the studio. The two of us sit next to each other, showing the engine running in the background on the green screen, and you don't hear the engine, you just hear us talking about it. And we explained what the situation was. And one of the reasons we decided to pull the engine out rather than try to change a cam in the engine is it's a tough job to do in the engine compartment. You got to pull the oil pump is hard. Everything's tough to do it in there. And we just put the engine in. It's all clean nuts and bolts. The whole thing is clean in there. No big greasy gobs of crap. It's an easy engine pull. So why not just take it out, put it in the stand, do it right? Oh, the other thing we're doing with the cam is because there is a little more lift. Uh, Shane wants us to change the valve springs, and he says they'll be about 20% stronger. So, let's just take it out and do it. Just Paul says, buddy, it's called a pigs. What, Kim?
What did I do?
Oh, I don't know. You just got.
Oh, KJ Kiley said you guys made a prudent decision, and then Dean Stevenson mentioned the use.
Oh.
And I didn't even realize until Dean said something. I didn't even realize that KJ Kiley said use because it looked perfectly correct for me because I grew up in that town. And use. Have you ever seen anybody for you yins use guys? Never mind. It doesn't.
I don't know. This is this Pittsburgh dog.
Drain the oil to check how it looks. I'm sure it looks fine. There's not. It won't even have had enough time to pick up any. It's brand new still. I'm sure it's fine. I could put it back in. But I don't know if he can live with himself if I do. But we'll see. But PA peeps, no, that's right.
Well, and then if the oil's really clean looking, there's nothing in it, and we do the break in,
Mhm.
and then we drain it, of course, because it's got assembly lube and everything in it. Dean says it'll be highly sprung. It'll be about 20% more. Those aren't real strong springs. Dean Stevens, I grew up with Dutch and German. What is this hippie long? My hardest problem is parts that fit. Makers of generic parts. What am I? What can my 273 do with 360 head gasket? They make one part fit all.
Oh,
They don't know what they're doing.
what's the fire ring way out there? Ugh. Oh, retired Inspector Bruce says,
Oh,
my wife says that she's from Pittsburgh. Yeah, she would.
excuse me. I didn't know you're still here. Your wife's from Pittsburgh. I didn't know that. Well, I met Bruce. Bruce and I were in the same school in the Air Force, and that was 50 years ago. That was 52 years ago. So when I knew Bruce, neither of us were married. We were a couple of single guys and, young guys in the Air Force.
Can you run a looser tolerance? I'm a small boy, old Chevy guy, half turn after zero lash works well for Chevys. No, the problem here is not the lash. It is the ramp on the cam are almost surely just worn off. Either it was broken improperly by the previous owner when they installed the engine and ran it.
Does everybody understand how what makes the lifters turn? You might want to explain that.
I don't know if I'm able to. I mean, I understand it, but I don't know if I'm able to concisely explain
it to everybody.
The taper on the ramp of the cam is what spins the lifter. So one side of the cam lobe comes up higher than the other side, and so it catches the lifter instead of down the center of the lifter. It catches on the side of the lifter. So as it comes up, it pushes the lifter, and as it goes over, it and then it keeps spinning as it goes down the other side. But as it wears flatter and flatter, the lifter will eventually stop spinning. But there's a lot of taper built into the cams, many years, hundreds of thousands of miles of taper, ground into a cam that's ground properly from the factory. But I mean, this cam may have that much. They may have reused the original cam when they rebuilt the engine.
We have no history of this cam.
Yeah.
We never ran it. It came in an engine that she bought, and she decided to use it. And she had kept all the lifters in the right order. So, we don't know.
I doubt it was a bad grind from the factory, Patrick Sullivan, because it is not a new rebuild. And they knew how to grind cams properly
for the last 100 years
until they started exporting all the machine work overseas, and they didn't realize that it was even such a thing. They were just grinding lobes on cams, and they didn't think about the fact that, if you're making a flat tappet cam, it has to be ground one way, and a roller cam has to be ground a different way, because
roller cam straight across because it's got a roller on it.
Right. It does. You don't want to taper on a roller cam because it actually will try and twist the lifter, and you don't want it to try and twist. So, but no, probably not a bad grind from the factory, because that was the cam that was in that engine when we got it. And who knows how many miles it had on it, and that's just how it goes.
It was a judgment call, and there's you do that. And there's some risk involved. And
that's okay,
we knew that. And Grease Monkey says, so you're going to try a new cam. Okay, so some people popped in here since we were talking about it. Yeah, Shane Polito, that's in one of the engineers like a senior engineer at Edelbrock. And Edelbrock also is Comp Cams. And he designs camshafts.
And he's a Slant 6 aficionado.
He's a Slant 6 guy all the way. So he's doing a custom grind for us. So yeah, we'll have a new cam, and we hope to get some of those what are they called, DLC lifters, the new diamond like coating lifters for this, and he says they're going to be available, but he's not sure exactly when. So it depends on when that comes up whether we'll get the new lifters. But those DLC lifters don't tear up at all. So we're not worried about that if we can get them. Let's just say this is also some lifters no longer had enough crown. I don't know. Anything we get, we're going to check all that stuff now. It used to be I never checked that stuff, never had problems. What was it, a year, 2 years ago? So many people were wiping out camshafts during their 20-minute run-in. They wouldn't get through the 20-minute run-in without wiping a lobe off a cam. So everybody got afraid of them. And people started putting roller cams in when they could and just not doing any more flat tappets. But the problem came out that a lot of cams didn't have the taper on. And once that came out, then everybody started checking. And now it looks like we're going to we'll be checking all that stuff. I thought you said you were going to return it to Rock Auto. Oh no, she bought a second cam. She bought a cam.
I did say that, but that's not the cam that we used in this engine. When we found out this cam was bad,
she jumped the gun and bought
I jumped the gun.
Bought a cam from Rock Auto. Well, we opened it up. We did a video on that isn't up yet.
No, we may not even, but
we may and we may not. But it's one thing I don't like about that cam is it's got some rust on it. Well, and it's a stock cam, so we could use it, but I'd rather have the custom grind from Shane. And with the rust on this one, I think we'll probably just end up send it back to Rock Auto. It's brand new. It's in a box. Got a little rust on it. It's like, let's send it back. We'll use the custom grind.
Hippie Long says, I wonder if your lifter size is the same as a V8. It is, but not the same as a V8 Magnum. The V8 Magnum never had flat tappet lifters. And this engine takes flat tappet, non-hydraulic lifters.
Yeah, this is solid only.
Solid flat tappet lifters. So an early LA 318 does have the same lifters as this.
Didn't you say, I know you said it. You said that the later model slants had hydraulics. They did. They did something to the oiling system so they could do that.
They oiled them from the top down through the push rods.
But these don't.
They do
Shane,
not. No.
Shane Polito, he's telling us about a slant that he has, that he did some drilling on the block and running some kind of tube or something so he could put hydraulic lifters in an early slant. Didn't he say that?
Perhaps, but most people would never even attempt something like that.
That's the kind of guy that Shane is.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy he is.
That's the level he's at, that he would do something like that. Well, Shane's got a really light, what is that thing? Was it Dart from the one he got from Uncle Tony?
Oh, Plan Z.
Plan Z.
Yeah.
It's got like 1 million holes drilled in it and everything. It looks like an aircraft with all the lightning holes drilled in it. And he decided to run a slant in that, but I bet you that thing will end up being a fast car. But the one he calls Cookie Monster, that Dart, oh my God, is that thing fast? What's he got now? 360 or 340 or something? I don't know, but it pulls front wheels off the ground.
Paul Paguli says, some machine shops won't install a flat tappet cam in a performance build anymore. Absolutely. But
that's because they got scared with all the wiped out cams. Yeah. But now it's come to light where the problem is, and so I'm not so worried about it anymore. We know what to check.
Yeah.
The cam manufacturers, at least the ones in the U.S., know where the problem is, and I think it's I think we've made it through that now.
Just to the driver's side of the valve cover near the edge. Oh yeah, that's how I lifted it up.
So what is this? I don't know what you're reading.
That's exactly what I did, Raining Slant 6. They're that's where the chain is hanging from right now. I probably can't see from it. Yeah, and you can, depending on which link you hook the chain to, you can lift just the engine or the engine and the transmission from those two bolts in the head. Yeah, I'll be right back. I gotta take a quick break.
Okay, you gotta take a break. Okay, let's see. Dean Stevens, Professor P explained why some of it is taper, but Professor P also explained how the oil associative ingredients work. ZZP, which is probably ZDDP, isn't the whole solution. Yeah, that's correct.
Oh yeah. Well, there could be lots of contributing factors, but if there is no taper on your cam, it won't spin the lifters, and it is going to destroy your.
Well, the
oil additives in the world are not going to make your lifters spin if there's no taper ground into your cam.
And these new DLC lifters, apparently they did a bunch of testing on them. You know, they're prototypes, and they went out and ran them without any break-in. Just went out, ran them, and they haven't had a failure yet with no break-in. So I've got a lot of hope for those things, and I hope we can get a set. Dr. Go, how you doing? Hey, Cam Buff and all the community members here. May not stay long as I drove about 400 miles after work. That's always nice. I used to do stuff like that. No more. Kept getting past at 80 and 90 and like 100 miles an hour for the last 90 minutes of Chicago driving. I can't believe how people drive anymore. You know, it used to be if you went 5 over the limit, you're looking for the cops because you went 10 over, you were going to get a ticket. Now people go 30, 40 miles an hour over the speed limit and nobody gets tickets. And it's crazy. They get these jacked up trucks that are 8,000 pounds and they're going that fast. I hate to even be out there, you know. Oh, and look what happened to me. I got hit, spun me around, destroyed my car. But Carfon, I always thought carburetor and exhaust manifold should be on different side of the motor. On Slant 6. Well, then be slanting to the wrong side, but yeah. Yeah, what car was like that engine everybody hates, that 4-cylinder that I like, that everybody hates with the cross-flow head. What's that thing called? The Pontiac Iron Duke. See, I like the Iron Dukes. A lot of Mopar people get upset with me because I put a Pontiac Iron Duke in a Dodge Dart that I had years ago. Drove it around for years. And it was so light up front, I had to crank the torsion bars way down. It set way up in the front end. Crank the torsion bars way down. And you open up the hood and there's an air cleaner on it. It said, keep your GM vehicle all GM. But I had a Slant 6 in it that had 325,000 miles on it. It was a smoky engine. And I had that Pontiac Iron Duke that only had 2,000 miles on it. I put it in there. It's almost like a joke, but it worked so well. I just drove it around. Hippie Long, I loved your video describing the problem. Oh, so you saw it. Well, that's good. KJ Kylie, 100 miles per hour on the Dan Ryan. I'm not sure what the Dan Ryan is. I suppose that's a road. Yeah, you might also want to take a look at the push rods. Yeah, we will push rods, of course. But she'd already checked all that out. And, you know, you can roll them on a flat surface and see if anything's wrong and look at both ends of them and everything. Kim's pretty darn.
No, we knew right away that the problem was the cam.
Yeah, we
I wish it was that because I'd have been able to fix it in the car. But
Dr. Go 294 and 290 and 90 from Rockford in around O'Hare Airport and into Indiana on 94. You know, I hate to even drive through Nashville anymore because unless the traffic gets all backed up because too many people, it rolls along at 85 to 90 miles an hour, and it's a 55 mile an hour speed limit, and people go that fast, and the jacked up trucks, they'll come up behind you, and I'll be running 10 over the speed limit, which I don't really want to be. I'll be on 65 or 70 in a 55, which to me is plenty, and the truck will come right up on my bumper and turn their lights on, and it's like, God, just go around me. But I don't know, maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm just an old man that doesn't like to go fast. But in my mind, I'm kind of aggressive. I'm kind of an aggressive driver, but not compared to these people. Uh, let's just say, where I was a passenger in a Fiero when we were next to big trucks. It was somewhat scary. Yeah, you could probably change lanes going underneath the trailer, hide out under there. No, no, don't do that. Yeah, I'm gonna build this little aluminum car, but I'm gonna be afraid to drive it anywhere because it'll be, it's a Triumph Spitfire on today's roads. These big trucks going so fast. I don't know how we got to this point. There were all the little, like the small pickups and mini pickups are just what they call those, the small pickups. The ones like the Nissans and Toyotas and all those, the small ones. Those are such nice little pickups, but because of the way the rules are written on the emissions, the companies would rather build these big 8,000. So I know we had one that was over that at a company I worked at, because when you hit the toll road, they know how much that truck weighs when you come in. We had to pay tremendous tolls because the truck was over 8,000 pounds. And, it was a pickup truck. Really? What's the worst mistake you made in the shop? In this shop or in any shop? Oh, man. I put aluminum oil cooler one time that I didn't know was aluminum in my hot tank and destroyed it within minutes. And that was in the 70s, and that was it was over $400 to replace that guy's oil cooler in the 70s. So that was my car cost $400. That was a really bad mistake. Yeah, let's see. I don't know. What's the worst mistake? I guess we've all made a lot of mistakes in shops over the years. That was probably the most expensive one. I was working in an alignment shop one time, and I was backing out with God, it was a Ranchero that had a big camper on the back of it. I was backing up trying to maneuver through the parking lot, and I hit a Thunderbird in the left rear quarter that was parked. So it didn't do anything to the Ranchero because it had a big bumper on it, but it mashed the quarter panel. So I delivered the Ranchero to the owner, and by the time I got back to the shop, I thought I was in big trouble. Some customer had come in another car and backed into the Thunderbird about 3 times harder than I did, so his insurance ended up paying. Kim's making noise. Yeah, mini trucks. Hippie long. I had several Fiat X19s. Oh God, I love those cars. That's the only Fiat I ever liked. The X19. Those are like driving a go-kart. Man, you move the steering wheel this far and it'll whoo, whoo, whoo. The only other car I drove that ever felt like that was the De Tomasa Mangusta. Man, you had to think, don't turn the steering wheel unless you really want to go somewhere, because you just move the steering wheel and it'd change lanes. Well, the X19 was kind of like that, but the X19 was not so fast as Mangusta, so you didn't get as much trouble with it. I loved X19. Yeah, mini truck. Tim says the tolls on my big fucking trailer were outlandish. Yeah, when you had a tractor trailer, 150 to cross the George Washington Bridge into New York.
Hey!
Okay, there's a warning. 1 minute to commercials. So in 1 minute, it's been a half an hour. 1 minute, I will quiet down and let the commercials go. Let's see here. My most expensive words were "I do," and watch them. Watch them. When I get in an airplane and I'm riding with somebody and they go, "Oh, watch this," that's when I get really scared. I go, "No, I don't want to watch this," because they're about to do something really stupid in their,
No.
you know.
Oh. You want to check all these push rods and make sure none of them look bent?
She's gonna have me check on rush pods. Rush pods? Push rods.
You gotta make space.
Okay, I gotta move mine. I gotta have a big flat piece of steel to check push rods, and my eyes aren't real good to look at the ends. Okay, commercials. Okay, maybe the commercials are finished. I hope. Buddy Carfano broke all the studs off early Mopar, not knowing reverse starts first job. Okay, see, I never did that because I worked with this crazy Norwegian he owned the shop, and I was 17, and he's out there and he goes like, he used to tell me to X them, and X them meant take the tires and change them from side to side, rotate the tires in an X. So he goes out there, he yells at me, he goes, go out there and I don't know what it was, some Chrysler product. And he goes, I want you to X the tires, X them. But he goes, and then he comes out there and he's yelling at me before I even got the impact wrench in my hand and telling me how the studs on one side were left hand and their right hand on the other side, and don't ever make that mistake, yelling at me. And it's like, okay, so that was in 1971. So I understood that problem before I got to it, but that's just because I had an extremely loud boss who didn't want any problems. Yeah.
That's how you learn these.
Chevy Corvair with V8 still unsafe. Hey, I've done a couple of those cooling systems. I had a real good friend put a V8 in a second gen Corvair. It was like a 66, I think. And he took the back seat out and he put a Oldsmobile Tornado drive back there with the Olds 425 engine. So you can imagine that engine was kind of sitting over top of the wheels. And he took the half shafts, and the outer portion of half shafts had the Corvair U-joints, and the inner ones had the Tornado. So one of them was real long and the other was real short. But man, was that a fun car! And yeah, anyway, and handled pretty good. Patrick Sullivan, that's my time to check out myself. I can hear my bed calling. Okay, well, thanks for being here, and have a good night.
Thanks, Patrick Sullivan. Get good sleep.
Let's see, buddy. I did the same in 1975, first job. Arco. Be the oil company. Dr. Go, time to check out before I have to admit any of my big garage mistakes. All right. Okay. Well, have a good night. KJ, hi, Kylie, bent a hood in half. Forgot there was a prop rod. Oh, I'll tell you what, I bent a hood in half, and it was on a Chevy pickup. It was on a square body, and they have little divots there. So if you get hit in the front end, the hood bends in half. It doesn't drive the hood back in through the windshield. But the hood hinges get very, very rusty, and they're hard to move and everything. No, it wasn't a square body. I'll tell you what it was. It was an El Camino. It was like a 71 or 2 El Camino. I think it was a 70, and I grabbed the hood and closed it, and the hood just bent in half. And it's because the hood hinges were so crusty. And I learned on any cars that had those to lube the hood hinges before I closed
There's
them.
the nose spinny.
Oh, you already got them out.
I got one.
You got one out. Okay, so we're gonna look at the lifter. Okay, can you get me my little? You might know where it is, or it might be in the toolbox. My little square. This is a no turny, no spinny.
That's definitely a no spinny.
No spinny lifter.
I can see what's up with it.
Dean Stevenson, unsafe with extra speed. Ralph Nader's still alive. Finding the fuel fill on a 57 Chevy first time was a trick. You know those old Cadillacs had little bubble fin on the back, like a 54, 5, 6 Cadillacs? Those are under the tail light.
This one? No.
That'll work, I think. That's not the one I was wanting, but
I
think that'll work. I think that'll work.
I can see the bad wear on that one. It's super obvious. That one's the one that was not moving at all.
That has no convex on it at all. That is flat, or if anything, slightly concave. I might be able to slip a. Kim.
I can see.
Yeah, if there's convex on this, there's not 100,000.
I can see it's.
Yeah, it's bad. This is a bad lifter.
But it's bad because there's no ramp on the cam to spin it.
Yeah, and then there's no ramp on the cam to spin it, so it's
all the badness. All of the bad. I mean that you want to find. I'm glad we didn't run it even 5 more minutes.
Yeah, if I was John Boring, I would have popped a 425. An Olds 455 and a Corvair. Yeah, a friend of mine had a 425 Olds out of a 66 Tornado. The whole thing was 66 Tornado on the back of his Corvair, and that thing was so much fun. But I did the cooling system on it, and the guy that owned it put an electric fan up front with a switch, so he'd start up in the morning and let it warm up, and then flip the switch on. Well, one morning he was going to work, and his father went out there and decided to start the car for him, warm it up, and his father didn't know about the switch, and he cooked that engine. And that was kind of the end of that project. He was in college and really couldn't afford to do it again, and I don't know what happened to the car. Tim says on my 86 square body, when the hood is up the whole way, you push the hood back towards the windshield about 2 to 3 inches, then the hinges release and close the hood easy. Yeah, what I've learned though is you got to keep those hood hinges lubricated. Yeah, and you gotta work it shut. But they got little heavy things back there, so if that hood ever gets driven backward, it keeps it from going into the windshield, and it bends the hood in half because it's got those little things there. Kim, how long are you going to go at this?
Oh, I guess to be done a while.
Okay. 57 Chevy inside fin above taillight. 56 Chevy in the taillight. Yep. That's where those they put. Yeah, GM did all this fancy stuff with fuel fillers. Okay. I'm cold. I know when I start getting cold, I'm in trouble. Time to wind it down here. We've been on for 3 hours and 8 minutes. So I thank everybody for being here. And thank you for the super chats.
Oh, yes. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you being here. Hope you found something we talked about interesting. Hope we followed your conversation, and we didn't mean to ignore or dismiss anybody. Come back. I think we'll be here tomorrow again.
You think we'll be here tomorrow?
I don't know. It depends.
We'll see how it goes.
Cold. We'll try. We'll be back as soon as we can be.
Kim's got her borescope out.
Yeah, I was trying to see, but
turn so they can see it. So you can see the screen on. See, there's a borescope. You can look down inside stuff.
Yeah, I was looking to see if you could tell, like, what it would look like on the cam, just looking down in it. Even though we're pulling it out anyways, I just wanted to get an idea what you might be able to see. And but I don't know.
Okay.
I'm struggling.
It's getting colder in here. I'm getting colder. And when
I'm
I get
eager
colder,
to get back out of that.
I know I gotta get to the house. So use all been.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
That's like a double S, isn't it? Goose?
I don't know.
Goose? Yeah, that's German letter that somebody told me what it was one time. Okay.